Welcome in everybody to episode 10 of the Blurred
Oh
podcast.
my god.
Yeah. I honestly can't believe I've listened to you guys for 10 episodes
We're
worth of
in
this.
double digits now. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
If you
It's a
count
new era.
if you count the Mog Bonanza episode that me and Dex did, it is
Mhm.
actually even more than that. We're gonna be on episode 11.
No, no, no.
But
Wow.
11 is special in this community, we have to save that.
Oh, yeah.
oh, we gotta
That's
do a
true.
special one. That's why it's just gonna be me
Do
and Hegma
do
next
a
week.
Final Fantasy 11 special
Mhm.
11 episode. I
Yeah.
like that.
We should do that. We'll have to brainstorm a topic for that. But that's exciting. Hegmo, I heard you had an exciting week. I heard that the Galcan legend of Shiva is no longer a thing. What's going on with that? I heard you were forced
Yeah.
against your
Yeah.
will to race change.
There have been ups and downs in the
Mhm,
past week.
mhm.
Speaking of major milestones, thanks to the support of the community, hit 1,000 followers on Twitch.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, I was very excited to do that. It feels
Mhm,
like it's like, just like going from 9 to 10 is an added digit. We got to go from 999 to 1,000, which was also nice. Uh, the fourth digit, we're at
mhm,
stage 4
mhm.
follower count. Um,
Congratulations.
yeah. And so we did a 24-hour stream
Okay.
the day after we did that to celebrate. We started and ended at 7 a.m.
Mhm.
It was originally going to be an 18-hour stream,
Wow.
but we had some flex goals with certain gift sub counts and stuff like that. Um, it got extended to 24 because we hit a certain gift sub tier.
Mhm.
And then at the very end of the list, I had a sub goal set that I thought was ridiculous. I was like, I'll put this in as a joke,
Mhm.
we won't hit it, and so it'll be funny.
Right.
And I can just use it as a little carrot to, maybe get a few gift subs here and there. But, whatever. And then people just kept giving gift subs. So thank you to the support of the community wholeheartedly. Uh really, really huge amount of support came in and very, very welcome. And I'm entirely appreciative. Don't know how to express myself. But yeah, that goal we had to switch to Taru Taru for a month. So currently am a little Taru Taru summoner of all things.
It was really exciting. Wow. So do you have to master summoner on top of that? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
that
working on
was one
now?
of the other flex. So the one of the first flex goals was that I would level summoner to 99.
Mhm.
And then later it was like I'll master summoner. And so yeah, we're just, it just keeps piling on. We're working on that's probably what I'll be doing today during the podcast is Limbus mastering summoner for a little bit.
Oh, you're
Well,
gonna
they
master it in
stream is
Limbus.
over, right?
Yeah.
The 1K
Was
stream is over. They don't need to know that you get
oh
scared
yeah.
quick.
Well, the thing is, I'm like, it's in my nature, right? Like I generally in all games I like the underdog job or class that's just like not good
Mhm.
because I'm like, well, I'm gonna make it good. And so even though I've avoided summoner, the whole point behind summoner was that it's the only job I hadn't unlocked because I saw no point in it.
Mhm.
Um uh even though I had not unlocked it previously intentionally, now that I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, we can make this work. And so like, I'm like R30ing my epitaph and all the stuff just so I can be the best summoner on the server now. So we've
Yeah.
got to master it. Probably M50 at some point. Who knows?
Yeah, that makes sense for a warrior main to really like the underdog jobs, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Uh,
that's why I play Galka to balance it out.
okay. Yeah, you gotta you
Yeah.
gotta keep your ego in check somehow.
No, you
That's
don't.
why that's why you wear a mustache and you
You're a Taratara.
do the Galka. I know you've had moments where you've equated being a Galka to having a mustache, and I think
True. That
that's an
is true.
interesting thing. Dex, how's your week been, buddy? What have you been up to?
I went and saw a concert in New Jersey, and I really pity, Hexy. Horrible out there.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I don't know why anybody would want to live in New Jersey.
It wasn't that bad.
I've never
But,
actually
like,
been there.
I crossed over Manhattan,
Mhm.
over the bridge, and I get into Jersey, I'm like, "Damn, this is the hood."
Oh shit. Okay. That bad, huh?
Well, I'm a New Yorker. We pass through Jersey, not, you know,
You don't
hang
stop
out there.
there. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we were talking about this a week or so ago.
Mhm.
Or maybe I don't think it was on the podcast, but I was basically like, I've been to New Jersey. No, I've been to Newark.
Mhm.
And like, I think Dax might have said, he's like, oh well, yeah, that's basically how you interact with New Jersey, is you just go there to go to the airport sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, same old, same old.
Cool.
I have not really accomplished anything exciting in 11.
Yeah. Is there anything exciting left to accomplish right now for you?
Oh, everything is exciting if you
Okay.
think about it. I might hit 1,000 ROEs soon. Like, oh my god.
Holy shit. That
It's
is
Oh,
kind of like
that's
hitting
right.
1,000 followers.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna
It's
do a
kind of the
24
same
hour
thing.
stream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Stream grinding out your last few hundred ROEs. Would be great.
A
Few
thousand
hundred
ROEs. Dex has been, for context, Dex has been working on 100% completing records of eminence.
Mhm.
among other things. Like
Yeah.
I have problems.
Well, we play 11, so we all have problems.
I think another milestone I want to do is get all the abysite from
Mhm.
the.
Ooh, nice.
There's
All of it.
an Atma. I think it's the final one you get for doing every single Abysia quest, every single Atma. Other than that one, every single Abysite,
Mhm.
all the NMs, every pain in the ass.
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Shirash,
Hell yeah.
what have you been up to? Is it's New Jersey the first state that you've been to?
Yes, this is the first state I've ever been in outside of the UK.
Wow. How's it
Really?
feel?
Oh, so did you fly into Newark then?
I flew into Philadelphia.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
Okay.
slide.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I feel like if you don't
Yeah.
leave the airport,
Yeah.
you're on international uh like territory still.
Mhm.
Like if you don't leave the airport, you don't actually enter the country.
Yeah. If you can walk into a duty-free store, it doesn't count
Yeah.
for sure. How are you liking it? This is how many weeks have you been here now?
this is like my fifth or sixth week. I got
Okay.
what 5 or 6 weeks left.
You're
We're
practically an
chilling.
American now.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I'm not an American for is being fat, but we'll get there.
Mm.
We'll get
Yeah, give it some time. Do a few more McDonald's runs. I know it doesn't taste as good as the UK, but
yeah.
we'll get you there, buddy.
I
Honestly,
think
that
you've
made me
been here
sad.
long enough. Like, time to call ice. Screw it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
was
Already
gonna
had
say that, but I was like, we shouldn't be that.
yeah, yeah.
We're like
People.
speed running offensive comments, right? Like we're like, let's see what we can bait out of the YouTube comments.
Yeah. See how many people we can
We're
make mad.
shitting on people from New Jersey. We're yeah, calling Americans fat,
Yeah.
bringing up ICE. Yeah, let's see what else we can
Oh man.
do.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should go ahead and move on to the next topic because y'all are out of control. Uh, and we actually have an email this week that we need to go over. And Dex, do you have our email since you're our resident email reader?
Resident guy that can read on the podcast.
Hmm. Oh, there's
Wait, you
all.
guys can't.
It's kind of hard, I gotta say. I don't play Final Fantasy 11 to learn how to read. All right.
Well, BMO3 sends us a big email.
Hmm.
He says, "Hello, this is BMO3, spamming from the not comments section this time.
Hell yeah.
I've got a quest and a suggestion." Oh boy.
You want to split them up into two, and we can do one at a time?
uh, sure. A friend that has always liked Beastmaster
Mhm.
found some few years old threads on the job. Neither of us are very advanced players, and information on Beast is rather scarce to boot. He sent me a quote that seemed interesting, and I asked for the link. I was hoping you guys could give me more in-depth on Beast. You guys could give more in-depth on Beast because there's even claims that a Beast is a viable DPS in quotes
Mhm.
due to ambuscade weapons.
Mhm.
Note
Mm.
though that the thread is 5 years old, so it's all irrelevant, right?
Correct.
A few of you seemed rather passionate about Beast, but simultaneously lamenting its state during the Prime Weapons video. I'd like to know if today is it's just no bueno in good group content. If it's only screwed at the tippy top content, or realistically, it's more of a 14 case where everything it clears is fine, but most people see MCH like 5% under and say it's dog water, unplayable trash. I think that's Machinist.
Yes.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 Machinist. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that really how 14 people operate?
Yes.
5% below the parts, trash.
Well,
hmm
yeah. I mean, it's
I feel
not
like
too far off
11
how
is
11 people operate.
pretty similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
They just don't let people into the party so you don't get the parts.
Right.
So he goes, here's the quote in question.
Mhm.
In bold, Beast is a brilliant job. I don't know what job these guys have played with. Beast is an excellent solo job with being able to solo Omen bosses as easily as other jobs. Even the tier 4 worm in Racing Jima. Oni Kapoor? No, not
hmm
Oni Kapoor.
tier 4 Worm and Rice and Jima.
What's his name again?
Um,
Yeah, it's Aeonic form.
uh,
Oh, it
no,
is?
that's the Worm is
Yeah.
Oni.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is it Worm with an O or Worm with a Y?
I don't think there's a Y worm in Resident.
Well, somebody could call like Aranis a
Oh,
dragon
sure.
worm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not only has the ambuscade weapon made Beast a viable DD,
Mhm.
but it's also a fantastic support job. Generous Arthur, the GOAT,
Mhm.
is Beast's best weapon pet, being able to almost replicate an Idris Geo level debuffs, minus 33% attack and defense down, while also debuffing 10% HP down, which is insane. A point people forget too is Beast can also tank very well. However, it isn't as lazy as pup tanking. For it to work, the master needs to DD, then snarl the pet, and then the pet will tank anything. A beast's pet, when geared right, can take the same amount of damage as a pup's automaton. I wonder who said that.
Yeah. So that we did a little bit of research here, and after some deep digging, it sounds like somebody by the name of Shiraj posted that comment. Is that right?
Mm.
That might be right.
Hmm. I I know it took us like a lot of investigative work to figure that out. But Shiraj, what are your feelings on Beast? Do you think your comment still holds up to be true today?
Look, I do still think it holds up because Beast is in the exact same position it was 5 years ago when I
Mhm.
made that comment. Because Beast is exactly like the second point that that guy made, where it's viable for endgame. You can use it to clear most content. It's just never going to beat out the best options, you know?
Yeah. I
Like,
I definitely feel like Beast has a lot to offer a party, but the places where it shines are kind of few and far between. You're not going to see it in a lot of groups, which is why we kind of complain or lament its behavior, like the email said.
yeah.
I I think if I were to change one thing in Shirash's comments, to make it a little bit more relevant, I think that Dolichenis has fallen off a little bit for Beastmaster. It's still okay for like skill chaining and stuff like that, but with the Prime axe now, and even Ikenga's
Primax, hell yeah.
axe, Spalarisos and Ikenga's axe, I
Valerisos
feel
represent.
yeah, absolutely. I think Dolichanis has fallen off a little. What do you think, Josh?
Honestly, I would agree. Because I don't use the ambuscade axe that much anymore
Yeah.
because multi-hit weapon skills are just inconsistent.
Hmm.
I say that while being a fan of the Prime, but
Yeah.
at least the Prime hits hard regardless.
Right. The multi hits definitely have like good and bad, but
So wait, you guys don't
Yeah.
Savage Blade Kraken Club on Beastmaster, Sub
I
Dancer?
have done. My favorite way to do
I,
that is on Aquans when you can abuse Killer Instinct and Skill Chain with the bird because you can.
oh yeah.
I think
Anytime
it's
you can abuse Killer Instinct.
Swooping Frenzy to Savage Blade makes a big fatty light skill chain, and it gives you the Aquan Killer bonus. So I really
Mhm.
like that. But
See,
outside of that,
If you have the diamond aspects too, you can 100% uptime Killer Instinct.
there you go.
Yep, yep.
See, that would be worth a swap. I don't know if Warcry and other like shorter duration stuff would be worth a swap, but I think Killer Instinct would.
I think
Yeah,
Beast is
100%
far
uptime.
from a bottom 5 job. I think we've discussed the tier list of jobs, but, like,
Mhm.
the way this person is
Mm.
framing the email where they say, they don't know if they think at the tippy top or in, like, group content, Beast is kinda shit, I think that's wrong. It's just like,
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
Beast
know
is
Shiraj can speak to it in a technical sense. I love Beastmaster. I have like a stupidly well geared Beastmaster for how much I play it. Like I have a stage 4 Spalarisos. I have a +2 sword earring. I have Udug jacket. I have Kraken club. Like I have like everything you need to make Beastmaster go, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like it's all right.
Yeah.
Um, it's just without a Kraken club or situations where you can't use Kraken club, you're never going to maintain TP. You know what I mean? Like they're so slow to attack. It's like no, it's noticeable. So that's tough. And then yeah, I mean, I do think that there's some cool pet utility like Generous Arthur and some of the other things, but the pets just don't make up for the shortcomings. That was the
Right.
original idea behind Beastmaster is that you were two things. So like two things are 60%. It's better than anybody else, right? Because you can solo stuff. You have all this utility. You're skill chaining with your pet, but it just doesn't scale into the current end game.
Yeah.
speaking to its attack speed, wasn't this one of the Jeopardy questions? Like, Beast is already the slowest DD, so it has the resist slow 5 trait.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it is very slow TPing. The problem with Beast is it was always designed to be a solo job, and the job adjustments that were given were never anything that changed that for group play. So now, not only is it worse at soloing than some other jobs, it
Mm.
doesn't have quite enough to offer to be a solid like group player.
I'd
Uh,
say Beast is extremely potent when the niche arises that you need it
yeah.
for draining TP, for slashing 10% off the mob's health bar,
Hmm.
but the air quotes geo aspect of it is seldom or
Yeah.
never used.
Yeah.
I
You know what
think
I
more
you
of
know
the
what I
pets
learned
more
about
about
yesterday?
what's that?
Avatar's favor.
Oh yeah, dude.
I had no idea how busted it was.
It's so good. It's the
Until
best
I
part summoner.
yeah. Yeah, I had no I really didn't know it existed, honestly, and then I saw the effects, like 25% double attack rate and stuff like that. Um, it's busted, and, like,
And it grows.
that's what I mean, Beastmaster I think that, that's how you give Beastmaster, like, unique stuff like that, that,
So
Bestial
that
becomes a
favor.
party buff, yeah.
that Geomancer comment, by the way, you have to keep in consideration that was 5 years ago, which
True.
the primary content
I'm
back
not
then
holding it
was
against you.
Dynamis
I'm just
diversions.
explain
Yeah, yeah. Like, because if I would not make that comment today, because look at Odyssey, Geo Fury's insane, Indie
Mhm.
Barrier. Whereas in Dynamis, like Geo's nerfed quite heavily, so yeah.
You
Yeah.
say that, but Geo is nerfed in Odyssey as well. It just
Yeah, but the buffs
don't
are
care.
still so strong.
Yeah.
And isn't it just the debuffs that are nerfed? Like the buffs
Yes.
are yeah, create the full
Yeah, yeah.
potency. And like when you can get that much added attack, that much added defense, etc., it's still ridiculously. There's not very much that comes close to it in terms of how you augment the party.
Yeah, so at the time that comment held up, but in today's day and age, it definitely does not. That's for sure.
This is
Yeah.
secretly like a gotcha for Sharad.
Yeah, I would love to see
um
Beast reworked a little bit. I've said
yeah,
this in other podcasts, but I think it could. I think the pets need to be reworked mostly. I think we need more debuffs and buffs from the pets.
In a
I think one
beautiful,
thing
perfect world, we would get a satchel for like a pup for all the jugs, and each pet would have like some unique buff or debuff that they can contribute. Because a lot
mm,
of pets just have like 2 moves that don't do anything, or
Yeah.
just do
yeah,
just
like
flat
it's like
damage.
a damage move and like it doesn't it's not an there's no way to make it keep up with
It's like
player
5k
stats. Yeah, yeah,
damage.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And if you've ever gone down the jug list, there really isn't enough families of mobs as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'd like to
I
see
mean,
more
I still
mods.
think that I would love to see a Beastmaster rework that is
Mhm.
like removal or all pet jobs. Honestly, I think that we should go into a modernized stat scaling for pets and all pet jobs, Summoner, Beastmaster, Puppet Master, where there are no more pet stats. So you don't have
Yeah.
to have gear that's split between master and pet, and you just have like all of your pet stats just scale off your item level or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and then you just remove that. But I don't know. I think that it's important to remember too that like all the jobs, like when we say or anybody says like, oh, summoner sucks, oh, beastmaster sucks, like there's no job really that's like so bad that it's unplayable in all scenarios.
Mhm.
You're just gonna
Thief.
have a much harder time. Okay, except for except for thief. No. I I always make the joke like
Yeah.
the kill order objective in D in sortie, where it's like warrior, monk, white mage, black mage, red mage, thief. I'm like, yeah, they put it in the order of usefulness in the game. That's how you remember it.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah, they do.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, nothing's like not usable. It's just, are you gonna find a sortie 8 boss run that's using a summoner or beastmaster? Most likely not. Does it happen? Yeah. I've heard of people that do summoner healer
Mhm.
in sortie, and they're basically like switching between stun locking with volt strike, perfect defense, TP drain, and like you just negate everything the hard bosses do, and then on the other end you can keep up with heals and support to doing objectives and all this other stuff. So
Fleet
it's,
wind,
I don't know.
movement speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, fleet wins a party wide movement speed that you don't get otherwise. Yeah, I mean there's so many things.
Yeah. I've seen
We transitioned from talking about beast to summoner because
mhm.
Hegmo is now
Yeah,
obsessed with summoner.
I'm a summoner, man. No, but like Beastmaster, like it's the same thing. Like when you look at um the HP max HP down, there I did murder my entire party one time on Lashawn of all, no, not Lashawn,
Mhm.
Gatjot of all things, because I oozed and I was like, I wonder if ooze makes distortion with, and then everybody died.
Oh no.
But it's having that massive of a attack and defense down is huge in sortie.
Yeah.
There's ways to make it work. It's just you have to be, when you're playing an off meta job, you have to be more creative.
Yeah. I've seen people clear V25 Kalunga with a Beastmaster in the place of the warrior. It
Nice.
can happen, but that is the exception. That is not the rule. Is the thing. That's going
Mhm.
to take a
Were
lot
they
of
TPing on
know-how.
the pet and throwing Mistral axes from 15 yalms at it?
No.
Hell yeah.
No.
If not, it doesn't count.
Yeah. It's true. I believe they were just doing a King's
I've
Axe
been I've
with
been trying to get people to let me take Beastmaster to a Kalunga, but it's like impossible. I'm always stuck on tank.
yeah, I'd be okay with taking Beastmaster to Kalunga.
You've kind of like dug yourself a hole in that, like you you're like, I'm the best rune fencer, I'm the best scholar, and people are like, okay, well,
Look,
come
I
with
never said that. I never said that.
No, no, all you say is Rune Fencer is the best job ever, and anybody who says
And
any
people are
other
like, well,
job is
why
good
does he say
sucks.
that?
Yeah.
I
Sure.
just I say the job's the best job ever,
Yeah.
because it is.
Mhm. And then you just talk shit about Beast, and then you're like, why won't anybody let me go Beast?
Look, I talk shit about everything except Rune Fencer. I will never shit talk Rune Fencer.
Jesus. Okay. Should we dive into the second part of that email?
Sure. So he says, lastly, a suggestion, if I may. You guys mentioned how some campaigns are garbage or just unnecessary, like the one from Wings of the Goddess, about attacking the enemy stronghold after capturing all regions around it. Every time I return, there were a pile of event campaigns going on that I couldn't tell what half of them were or what they were really good for.
Mhm.
Honestly, asking around didn't help much for this, and I recall asking about that specific campaign. I don't know. I don't make the term, Square does, and never finding an answer. The upcoming campaign is a nice set for newer returning players to gear up. Almost everything facilitates materials for JSE, and I think it would be helpful for a video explaining this and how to take advantage of it. what
Hmm.
they are boosting, how to participate, how to use the rewards from each, and perhaps individual small videos or or shorts explaining the usefulness, specific niche ones for every other campaign would help a lot too. To search for whenever the new players arrive. Thank you for your time.
Hmm.
Um, is he just like queuing us up? Is he dictating? He's like, and back
uh,
Yes.
to you.
Yeah,
I
he's giving us
used to
ideas.
I used to do a monthly update video intermittently, and every monthly update I would go through the campaigns, the login campaign, everything that was added to the game, all this other stuff. It was just exhausting to make because it's like a lot of you have to capture a lot of different footage. You have to go through all the different campaigns and like, all this other stuff. Um and it just increasingly felt like it wasn't worth the effort. But
Okay.
I do think like I don't know if that's great video, like maybe it is like a good segment for the podcast. Once a month we go through the campaigns and talk about what's worth doing. But I think like it'd be great to see better guides, just general written guides like on BG
Mm,
Wiki or something like that aren't
Yeah,
just the
written guide
lists.
seems like the best place for that. But
Yeah.
most people just don't like to really the time to write those.
yeah.
There isn't a resource out there currently that is really friendly to new players. This kind of question is just like go join a link shell and ask, that kind of answer.
Okay.
And it's pretty unfortunate. I do agree, but to suggest that we have to do the work, come
I
on
think
now.
I think you guys. Well, see, the thing is, my way of not doing this work personally is that I have no idea about what good campaigns are.
I'll tell you.
I don't pay
Mm.
attention to them. Well, that's normally what happens. I ask Dex or I see something that looks like obviously good. Like, oh yeah, Dark Matter. Obviously, that's not a campaign anymore. But yes, Dark
Holy
Matter
shit.
was a good
I would never
campaign.
bother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak
Double XP, great. Other anything other than that, like I just don't really spend that much
Yeah.
time looking at, it, to be honest.
Yeah.
when
I
we
mean,
talked
it's
about like quality of life stuff,
Mhm,
we we mentioned a few of them because I was pretty passionate about the idea of removing a lot of them.
mhm.
But like I could go into detail on every single one of them and be like, this is shit, this is that. But like
hmm.
as far as making a video, I'm completely I'm out of my depth in that.
Have you
I
looked at
mean,
the campaigns that are coming up,
Yeah.
and are there good
Do,
ones?
do you want to do that? Do we want to go
I
down
mean,
this road?
are there good ones? Like, is there like a standout
All right, let me
one or
pull it up.
two that look really good?
I mean,
Uh,
I think that's the kind of easiest way to do it is just you look at the list and like
yeah.
I think to BMO's O three's point,
Mhm.
when you've been doing it for a long time, when you've been playing the game for a long time, like you can look and be like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh, I might do that this month.
Yeah.
And then you just ignore the rest. But if you're a new player and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, maybe chocobo digging's worth doing, let me go try it.
Right.
No.
It's a complete waste of time. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, that kind of information is helpful to a degree, like to get that head start.
Shirash,
Screw it. Like what are we
before we
just
go?
gonna do it? Sorry, go ahead.
Shirash, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the reason nobody wants to make those like so-called guides on anything is
Yeah.
because the second you put your opinion out there, people
Oh yeah.
instantly go towards it and like they will scrutinize everything about the opinion because
Hmm.
they do not agree with it. Instead of like taking something at face value and being like, "Oh, I can see why they say that," it's
Yeah.
just like, "I'm right, you're wrong" kind of mentality.
So you're
Yeah.
saying
So
people in general are too thin-skinned to write guides.
I know I am. That's
no,
for
I'm
sure.
saying the people who consume the guides are too thin-skinned that and too self-important, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
It just gets
Yeah,
bogged down with annoying stuff.
I think that's inevitable though. Like,
Hmm.
we're on the internet, so like there's gonna be people that like us and people that don't like us.
Yeah.
There's gonna be always somebody that has a contrarian opinion or a different idea. And that's
Yeah, of
fine. That's
course.
to be expected. We were kind of talking about that with like the tier list idea. Like,
Mm.
of course, we're gonna be wrong about everything. But that's not the point. Um, but yeah, you are right though. Inevitably, as soon as we publish something, we could talk about it with our chat, with everybody else in the community, and everybody could collectively agree. Um, Enoch, thank you for the raid. Everybody could agree collectively that like it's that chocobo digging campaign is stupid and there's no reason to do it. Right. And then as soon as you say that in a video, somebody will be in the YouTube comments like, oh, actually, you can get this material that you can't get elsewhere from chocobo digging. And I do it every month. And it's really the best thing that you could possibly do with your time. And this is entirely misinformation. And it's like,
Mhm.
you know,
I've made
Bro, that's
six
So
stage
funny.
5s from chocobo digging.
call to
wow.
action to whomever the chocobo digging warrior is out there. Um, comment down below. I think the only good thing from chocobo digging at like max skill is heavy metal plates, and it's why would you bother? It's not worth it.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you want, I can go down this list of
I don't
campaigns.
I don't I don't want to go down the list. I just want are there any
Oh, yeah.
like good
Oh, did they announce
standout
next month's
campaigns?
campaigns?
They did, yeah.
Let's go. Let's
So
do it.
I think they had XP. So double XP is obviously going to be good for
Oh,
everybody
like
unless you're master
continuing
levels. I, I don't.
No, that's over.
Oh, it's
from.
over. Okay, never mind that.
So
Ignore that.
they really did it stupid this time, and I
Mhm,
hope they never do it again. Where they launched a half baked campaign that didn't have a lot of things to it,
mhm.
and then they
Mhm,
took it down and did Vanabout, and then they
mhm.
took Vanabout down and quietly relaunched the
Put it
campaign.
back up. I think,
Yeah,
and I think they did that because they realized that having a like too many people complained about it being only 1 week. So they're like, oh, it's back.
but
Oh,
they
That was the
didn't like
plan all the
do it
time.
super quiet the
Yeah.
way they did it,
okay.
and that's wrapping up this weekend, right?
Yeah. I think
I
it's
don't know.
over fairly soon. I'm not sure if it's still
I
going.
took advantage of the crafting XP.
Okay.
But on the 15th, the new campaign launches. I would say the standout is the Vanabout reward one, the Ambuscade bonus point campaign. Uh, which every day you do Ambuscade, you get a Abhalja seal worth of bonus, right? So you
Oh,
get a
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
double. So
Okay.
for the next campaign, starting on the 15th for 2 weeks or so, I
Mhm.
would say, to anyone, not just like new players, but anyone, try to do Ambuscade once a day, at least on the very difficult difficulty. But you'll get the benefit for each difficulty you do. So even good players will likely want to do very difficult, difficult, and maybe even normal.
Yeah. That's a good one because, yeah, you get the improved amount for each tier. So it's like, yeah, you can get, it's a net positive, I think, to do it down to normal, even.
And I think normal with
Um,
the seal is
yeah.
like as good as very difficult without the campaign. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mm.
And
It's
they're
pretty
really
strong.
fast. Like if you're used to doing VD and you do difficult or normal, it's
Yep.
like it's so quick.
Yeah.
I'd say
So
other than that standout, the second campaign on the list that's air quotes exciting is Omen Job Card Plus.
mhm. Why don't they
Mm.
just make that
Now,
permanent already?
well, the thing
Well, they
is,
kind of did.
I said that too a few months ago when I was
Yeah.
like, Omen Job Card should be permanent. Job cards suck to get, and then they kind of did the other way where they just made the job cards not as necessary to get. They made you the whole requirements cut in
Yeah.
like
Right.
a third.
I still feel like they're swamping throughout the year the Omen job cards. Like it feels like every other month. Job
Well, I feel like
Mhm.
now after they've adjusted artifact,
card.
the lowered requirement of cards makes it so that you can just go out willy-nilly once a day, get 3 or 4 cards, and be like, "I'm actually contributing to my total." Whereas before, 2 to 4 cards out of 280 was abysmal, and you did not
Right.
want to personally, for me, that kept me from wanting to do the content.
Mm.
I was like, "There's no point. Unless it's the card campaign, I'm not going."
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when we used to do Omen as a link shell all the time, it would be like you'd go from having this crazy like full alliance and like some people having to drop out and form a second group and all this other stuff during the card campaign, and then the day after there'd like three people would show up.
Well, that was the
uh
thing, right? If you're doing cards, you're typically doing it on a job that you need it for, not the
yeah,
thing that the event needs. So if you're doing like a link shell event for Omen, you might have to go Bard, you might have to go Corsair,
right.
whatever the group needs, and you're not benefiting yourself card wise.
So we
But
got two decent campaigns coming
yeah,
up.
so I mean the card campaign is interesting though, but like I think that if you do, we did the math last time it came around.
Mhm.
Um, it's the math works out now that if you do Omen, and you do all the objectives and like you try to clear everything, with the reduced card counts and the card campaign, you can get all the cards you need to +3 of the full set of armor for your class in the campaign window.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah. Which like you couldn't do that before. It would still take multiple, months of farming.
Right.
So like, it's pretty awesome. It's an even better campaign now, I think. It's even more potent.
It's much more impactful. Just take the time to go out and do it as a daily when the campaign's around. When it's not around, do it at your leisure.
Yeah, absolutely. Omen
Um,
is pretty accessible these days, so just go have fun with it.
Other campaigns for the week or for the upcoming week that's exciting, I guess. Neonizal Isle is always fun for people.
I've never gotten anything from Neonizal.
It's
I've
not,
never done Neonizel.
crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people farm it. Um, you get question mark items from NMs, and
Mhm.
you just go around hunting NMs rather than trying to get floors done.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you inadvertently do floors, but you're trying to just find NMs to get question mark items.
Interesting.
People typically go to a certain I think it's like every 20 floors the amount of the NMs change, and there's a certain floor count where a certain NM drops belts more often, and you get question mark belts and turn those in to try to get Orpheus Sash.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Other than that, it's typically like, look, I got a pulse weapon or stuff like that. And you
Yeah.
can get the table from the content as well, which is like just a nice furnishing for people.
Mhm.
But
Great.
that's one of those like evergreen campaigns that it comes around. Some people enjoy it, they have fun, but it's not like impactful.
Yeah. I don't
I
think
think everything else,
there's. Is there anything that you can get from Neonizel that you cannot get from a mantra?
the table,
What table?
the Alzadal table.
Oh, is that just like a Mog House furnishing?
Mhm.
That thing's gonna go hard when we do the Mog House furnishing tier list. I bet
I have one. It's very nice.
probably gonna be like S tier at least.
It's sick.
All right,
They
boys.
added it to Mog Bonanza as a reward, so
Wow,
yeah, it is sick.
that's very impressive. Let's go ahead. We're gonna dive into the topic. So, topic of the day: we have Aeonic weapons. We're gonna go through every single Aeonic weapon and tell you why they're bad or not. You never know.
Hmm.
They could be both. So let me pull up my list here. We have
Just put them
Oh,
the
let me
all in
get.
F tier. We're done.
put them all in F tier.
We're done.
Actually, we're gonna be starting out strong because the very first weapon on the list is Shiraj's favorite, God Hands.
This is
Oh,
awkward,
nice.
right? Because I don't wanna talk about a hand-to-hand in a positive light.
Oh my god.
Why not? Why is that, Dex? You just
Uh,
hate pup that much?
yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Notice how we talked about pets,
Mhm,
for, 20 minutes, and we
mhm.
didn't talk about pup once.
That's a good point, actually.
It
That's
shows how
a very
relevant it
good
is.
point. So it's funny because we were talking to Shiraj yesterday, and he's actually planning on trying a new method to do a Shaw attempt. And you were talking about these weapons in particular. What do you think about these weapons, Shiraj, the God Hands?
I like God Hands. I don't think they're super. I think they've seen more use in recent endgame because of
Mhm.
Odyssey with the weapon skill wall. But outside of that, they're kind of like they're good, but they're kind of mid at the same time. Just
Okay.
depends on the content you would use them for.
When you compare them
How are
to
they
other
made?
hand-to-hand options, how do they perform?
Um, I would say people might hate this. I would say they beat the prime hand to hand.
Yeah.
I would say like Verith Ragnar, I would say it rivals it and often beats it in some cases, but that's kind of like a content by content basis.
Mhm.
It's not just like easy rule of thumb. Oh yeah,
Let me
this weapon
interject
beats it.
then. If this beats the Empyrean and the Prime, how are you calling it mid?
Because
He's calling monk mid.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's because like you can't use it for every single scenario. It's like you have to pick and choose which weapon.
well,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Monk's kind of weird like that, right? Because like,
Yeah,
Monk is so unique, and like most of the content you use Monk for is gonna be a solo subtle blow abuse thing, right? You're subtle blow
yeah.
capping and you're solo skill chaining to take out Lilith before she does anything, to take out Odin before he does anything,
Hmm.
to take out Ammonon before he does anything. You know, like that kind
One
of
thing I've
stuff.
used monk for in that regard is I've been able to solo, and I'm a shit monk. I've been able to solo Kate Sith VD with monk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. And so like there's lots of use case in that sense. And like that's why I think there's a huge bias for God Hands because God Hands excels in a solo situation, right? Because you can make radiance skill chains, etc. Whereas Verith Ragnar are kind of, in my opinion, the party Zerg weapon that's on a longer duration fight. You can put up AM3. You have the triple damage attacks going off. It's just super potent because of that. Um, but you don't
Um,
get the benefit of like the massive weapon damage and doing cap damage tornado kicks and that kind of
can I
stuff.
counter that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like
Yeah.
that was kind of true a few years ago, which is kind of why I'm like Verith Ragnar's kind of fallen off to some extent because Verith Ragnar relies on victory smite as well as auto attacks. You can't
Mhm.
just use one weapon skill in the majority of
Hmm.
content
Yeah,
anymore
yeah, yeah.
because of the weapon skill one.
Yeah,
So
you still have to rotate. Whereas if you're doing God hands, you're probably doing like a skill chain that has like 5 different weapon skills in it. So you never
yeah.
really get walled.
Raging Fist, both
And
the
then
kick.
the TP
Mm.
bonus heavily affects almost every monk weapon skill.
Yeah,
I would
that's what
say
I was
monk
gonna
is in
say.
a unique position compared to most jobs with Aionics. You know, wholesale Aionics have the unique stat of TP bonus 500,
Mhm.
and that affects a lot of jobs differently. I would say wholesale monk is one of the most affected by that stat.
Yeah. Howling Fist scales ridiculously with TP.
Hmm.
I think Dragon Kick does
Raging
too.
Fist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
I think too, like one thing that a lot of people don't realize about Monk, and I don't know if like how accurate this is maybe in the current meta because I don't play Monk as much as I used to, but like Monk is actually a stance based job. You actually have like 2 rotation periods that you go through when you're playing Monk, where you're rotating through like a focus and impetus stacking, where you're at 100% crit rate essentially if you're landing all your hits and you're doing your victory smite spams and like you may benefit from being because you're at that really high impetus stack with high crit rate may benefit more from Varathragna and then when impetus falls off you switch into footwork and then you do a tornado kick dragon kick rotation which benefits a little bit more from having the god hands on because the higher base damage, and that's how you see like the nine all nines weapon skills and stuff going off.
When I came
So
back to this game, I would say most like high level people or career monks would tell people you use Varathragna during impetus, and then you switch to God Hands for when you have footwork up. And I was like, what the hell?
see,
Yep.
like, look, I'll be honest, right? People say that like because the spreadsheet's sure to do that.
Yeah,
In an actual
but are you
practice,
really
like
switching weapons? Probably not.
yeah,
No.
in a practical scenario, I have never seen somebody do that. They talk about doing it. I've never seen someone do it in a legitimate endgame content. It's just,
Well,
you know,
also, I mean, with the attack speed and the like the how rapid Monk is building TP, the likelihood that you're going to efficiently swap weapons and not burn, 1500 TP in the weapon swap, then like you actually end up mathematically behind at that point. It's pretty unlikely, but yeah, I mean, on paper, there's situations where God hands are exceptionally better, especially in that footwork
yeah.
element.
One thing I will say as well. Wait, I forgot. Well, bro, I had a fucking brain fart.
so to me, God Hands is A tier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Simply, maybe not in like the overall scheme of like comparing it. Is it going to be better than, I don't know, let's say a
Yeah.
Django or something like that? Probably not. But for the
Hmm.
job, it does an amazing, like it does some amazing stuff. It's really good for the job, and if you were like a career monk, I would say this is the first Rima that you want.
Yeah.
Let me put it
And I
this
mean,
way. I think Aeonics are uniquely positioned in that almost every single one of them is viable, maybe
Mhm.
not best in slot, maybe best in slot, but viable no matter what. So every single one of these weapons you can pick up and have a pocket job, right? Like you can pick up an anus and just play thief or dancer, and it will be weaker than Twashtar, but it'll be fun. You can pick up God
Mhm.
hands and instantly your monk is viable. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think even like compared with the other stuff, even if you have all the other options, God Hands is really really strong and something that
Yes.
you should have
yeah.
for your monk regardless.
I think to build on Dex's point, I think we maybe should have said this before we started rating God hands, but I think like before anybody gets really upset, this tier list is entirely separate from the prime tier list. So we're
Oh
not
yeah,
saying this is A tier compared to where we put some primes in B.
right,
This
right,
is
right.
just entirely encapsulated in what the ionics are. And I think that there's a little bit of an element of ionics are actually, if you have a group of people or a link shell, or even like a party of people at this point,
Hmm.
they're fairly easy to get.
Yeah.
They're
And
arguably the
even
easiest Rima to get.
yeah, and when you calculate in even the price of all the pops, they're the cheapest Rima to make.
Like
Hmm.
5 mil, maybe 10.
Yeah, so like in that sense, these they're accessible, and that plays a large part in it. You might if you're new to the game, you're coming back to the game. One of the biggest impact things you can do is get a Aeonic, and like it may
Yes.
not carry you through everything that you're ever gonna do,
Hmm.
but it's going to be exponentially faster, most likely, than trying to build a mythic or an Empyrean. And situationally, it may be a better weapon too.
Yeah.
How I approach job playing, and you may or may not see the same results, but typically, if I'm gonna make a job, I'll get the Aeonic weapon and I'll build the job around that, and then
Hmm.
I'll work from there.
Mm,
The other thing that Hegmo didn't mention is that our rankings have been scientifically proven. We've
true.
done the simulations, we've done all the testing. There is no bias going towards any of these.
Oh, I
And
remembered what I was going to say. Sorry.
oh yeah, go ahead. 20 minutes later, Shaj.
Shiraj went and found
Mhm.
it in the script because the whole argument is scripted
Raj
scientifically as
woke
well.
up.
Yes,
He's
yes,
awake.
Yeah.
yeah. What's up?
Um, the one thing that's been overlooked as well about God Hands is the
Mhm.
delay, because
Yeah,
you
they are
need
slow.
you need one of the match earrings plus ones
Mhm.
if you do not use the Empyrean body. But if you use the Empyrean body, you do not want to use the earring. But if you
Mhm.
use Gareth Ragnar, you don't want to use anything. It's kind of
Yeah, that
Right.
But you want
that
to use
gets
the Imperium
into
body
you do want to use the Imperium body most of the time, especially in impetus. I think almost full time nowadays since
full time in
well.
impetus.
the
I mean,
plus
look,
three.
for casual content, yes. For anything endgame, you do not want to do that.
But
But I'm saying that's a selling point for God Hands because
It
yeah,
say
is.
you're
It is.
using Vareth Ragna. Vareth Ragna has a delay in such that the martial arts gimps you if you use
yeah,
plus martial arts gear. The
Mhm.
Yes.
problem being that the Imperium body has martial arts on it, sadly, but outside of that, it augments impetus in a way that it's very desirable to use that
yeah,
body.
Yeah. So that's like that is a
same.
bonus for God Hands, because yeah,
Yeah,
it does suck Gareth Ragnar gets affected by that.
yeah. That's a whole different conversation about martial arts and dual wield and like the really crazy calculations that go into you end up getting negative TP gain because
Mhm.
you have too much
Yeah.
martial arts. It's crazy, but yeah, at face value, you can overcap, and it's a risk with Verithragna because they're faster. I don't know if it's as much of a what's the delay on Varga? Do they run into
It's
any
very
martial arts
fast.
issues?
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't have it right in front of me, but it's also pretty
Varga
quick.
Pernakarwa
It's
plus
lower than God
116.
Hands.
Yeah. I think in general, I may have said this before, but primes are kind of like, even though their base value is based on the relic weapon, they're kind of in parallel to Empyrean weapons. So
Mhm. So for God
Varga is
hands, since
116 and Vere is plus 81, so it's not as fast as Vere, but
yeah,
Mhm.
by any
so since we're talking about Aeonics for God hands,
Yep.
I have it A rank. What do you guys think?
Oh, easy
I
A
would say
tier.
that's good. An easy A. I think we
Yep.
didn't talk about too much about Puppet Master.
Mhm. And
This
there's
is
a
the
reason for
first
that.
weapon.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
this is the first weapon here.
Mhm.
And the reason is Puppet Master. But this is the first weapon where like you really see the shortcomings of the design of Aeonics
Mm,
in that like there's no pet stat on this weapon at all. It's purely whatever benefit you would have gotten from Monk. That's what applies to Puppet Master. Puppet Master just capitalizes on it significantly less because it's a pet job.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, for Puppet Master, I'd rank it probably lower, but in general, an A is good.
Mhm. Great. So next up we have Aeneas. This is the Dagger. Thief, Bard, and Dancer all have access to this. And I personally, I think the biggest pitfall to this weapon is that it's linked
Weapon skill.
to Excentrinator. Yeah.
Accentrator is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than
Uh,
that, I think it's a phenomenal weapon. I think it's fantastic. Have you guys gotten this weapon or played with it at all?
I use it all
I
the time.
have.
Mhm.
I use it on Dancer in the same way that we were just talking about. Like I didn't want to make Twashtar.
Right.
I didn't have a Prime Dagger yet. And so I was like, I'll just make an Aeneas and we'll do that instead.
Mhm.
And I'll use that for, gearing up Dancer and everything else. And it did great for me. Like Dancer can still do cap damage with climactic with it on. It's good.
Yeah.
I play Bard every day for sortie.
Mhm.
Um, I have been too lazy to make Twashtar, and Anus does not as much as Twashtar would, but
Mhm.
damn near. And if I were to make Twashtar or to finish my Twashtar in the next week, Anus would still be in my arsenal because
Hmm.
it is best in slot ish for Aeolian Edge.
Oh yeah. It's very strong for Aeolian. It's probably the second best Rudra's dagger behind Twashtar.
Yes.
Um, and if you're like solo skill chaining on Thief or Dancer, super strong.
People tend to overlook Aeneas as a weapon
Mhm.
because it gets outshined by Twashtar and now Impugendring. But overall, I think it's like very strong. Uh, it can kind of like just get right up to par with those weapons, maybe 5% lower.
Yeah. Wasn't there a point in time where dual wielding Aeneas and Twashtar was like the quote unquote meta?
Offhanding Twashtar for the
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
I think now that we brought that up, it's worth stating to people before they get the wrong idea.
Hmm.
The Magian trial weapons that
Mhm.
give 1,000 TP bonus, you get that benefit no matter where you wear the weapon.
Yeah.
But with the
Yeah.
Aeonic weapons, if you were to offhand them, you do not get the TP bonus.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a big downfall of these weapons, especially the sword, I think. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But
Very shortly.
for me, Aeneas is another like, if not a very very high B. I think it's A tier personally.
Before we move on, Hegmo, how is this supposed to be pronounced? Because you told us about Gay Booyah, and I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done the research on anus, but I just say anus because it's fun to say.
You just say yeah. Yeah.
I haven't done the research
Especially
on anus.
especially especially when Dex is saying stuff like or when I say I haven't done the research on anus, Dex is saying anus is best in slot. And like that just made I'm happy with that,
Clip it.
So I actually think this weapon is like D tier, honestly.
D.
Yeah. So there's two reasons for that.
Mhm.
One, Thief is on it.
Sure. Yeah,
Two,
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't. And then two, I don't know enough about the weapon to be like commenting, so it's just D tier.
Yeah, that makes
No,
sense.
Apparently
Yeah.
I think my anus falls directly into B tier.
apparently it's Unius. Unius.
Onius?
Like an onion?
So you don't even
Onius.
enunciate the A. It's just Onius.
No, I like mine better. We're going
Yeah.
with Aeneas, and we are calling it.
There's no I in the word.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So I got Aeneas for A tier. Does
I
anybody have
think A
any
is
I
issues with that? I think it's really
I
strong.
would honestly, I don't know, like when's the last I don't know, I would pump it down to B maybe. Like I think God Hands, if you're gonna put God Hands in A, when we're comparing the two, like I think God Hands does more for hand to hand than this does
absolutely.
for
Okay.
Dagger.
Okay. That's an argument
Um,
that I can get behind.
yeah.
A big aspect of this is the weapon skill it augments, whereas you're getting this huge stat boost of a weapon skill that you
Mhm.
never use. You never.
Oh yeah, and if
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about weapon skills really quick, Shijin Spiral's busted. The
It's
damage
amazing,
isn't crazy, but the plague effect is game
but also
changing.
skill chains very well.
Yeah,
What I will say in favor of the dagger is that dagger weapon skills, similar to hand-to-hand weapon skills, uh, go great with more TP. So the TP bonus is really, really strong for it, especially for
true.
Rutros and Shark Bite. So those are
Maxim says God hands S. She should be at a
God
category.
Hands S. So the reason I didn't put God Hands in S is because comparatively to the one that I'm going to put in S, I don't think it belongs
Me too.
there.
I mean, I think inevitably, like we'll do the
Yeah.
thing where we scoot things around later.
Yeah, yeah.
But
If I'm
I,
not
I,
sick of you guys by then, we will spend a
yeah,
little extra time to
similar to the prime tier list, there's one thing I'm eyeing to put in S, and that's it.
right, right. And we all know what it is. Okay, so next on the list we have sequence. And I've heard people pronounce this sequience.
They're wrong.
oh,
I
it's
don't know
sequence.
I don't know how you can pronounce it. I don't know how you can look at that word and say
That's a
sequience. Like it just
word.
doesn't make
That's
It's a,
like
it's an
if you're
actual
right.
if
word.
you're
Right,
Sequence is
isn't
if
a
you're
it?
word.
pronouncing Anius wrong or Aeneas or
Yeah,
Anias or whatever
yeah,
you want to call it to avoid the uncomfortable first saying of anus
yeah,
repeatedly.
yeah.
Um, was sequence is just a word.
Right.
In what sequence are we going to order this
Yeah.
tier?
The right one.
Yeah, sequence. Who
So
has ever used sequence without being disappointed? Raise
So
your
wait.
hands.
First of all, we were just talking about how bad Aeneas' weapon
Yeah.
skill
yeah.
is. Can we talk about how bad
Oh
Requiescat?
yeah. Requiescat's
Oh
terrible.
man, yeah, it's really, really bad. The only
Requiescat
use
is
for it is
crap.
breaking the wall on like this very, very
Um,
niche.
I would say in solo scenarios,
Yeah.
it's good to open darkness skill chains.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
before the comment about actually it's used to break the shields from the categories in
Yeah,
Actually,
Zero One.
that's what I said. Yeah, is that's
it
the
does
only
no
use that I can think
damage.
of it.
It does breath damage.
So
Yeah. I mean, it has a use, but like it's such a small niche use, and that's something that you can circumvent in so many other ways nowadays,
right.
or just completely ignore. If you're worried about the Cataray's uh shield and doing unaspected damage, you know what I mean? Like that's there's a lot of other things that you should be working on before you are working on making a sequence. Or
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
I think sequence is easily D tier. If there were an F tier, I'd suggest it, but we only go down to D.
Yeah, yeah. I was too lazy to make an extra tier for F. But yeah.
Unironically, I think just like how I said and fought vehemently with the primes that the sword is the worst Aeonic.
Yeah.
Really worse than like because I think there are some that are used maybe less. I think that if there's any
Triage? Is that what you're
validating aspect,
Mm.
triage is kind of cool in some
Hold
situations,
it,
but
wait until we get to trash. We'll
yeah,
get there.
but
Slow down, boys.
at least sequence looks really cool when you lock style it.
Oh, okay. We're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. At least
That's
sequence
yeah,
how
has the lock style aspect.
that's what we call in the industry
Mhm.
a reach.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wasn't sequence
And the
wasn't
animation's pretty cool. Yeah, that's true.
sequence wasn't bad once upon a time, right?
Oh,
It
it was
was
one of the
pretty
best
okay.
swords in the game for a
Yeah.
while.
I remember a lot of blues would wear it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Savage Blade, I would imagine. Or for Expiation.
This is pre-nagling days, I think,
Mhm.
and this is also pre Dynamis Divergence augments. So your Tizona did not get its Expiation weapon skill boost.
Mm.
So I think
Mm.
at that point in time, the sequence TP bonus pulled ahead by a lot.
Okay. So it was good once upon a time, and
Yep,
now you might as
it's
well.
dog water.
Yeah, unfortunate. Okay, next on the list we have Lionheart, the big surfboard that everybody loves to carry around.
Yeah.
It's only for Rune Fencer, and I always thought it was ironic because Rune Fencer obviously has some of the lowest like native attack for melee jobs, and it gets paired with Resolution, which has the attack penalty.
For a point in time, I would
Mhm.
say Resolution was like the most batshit bonkers broken weapon skill on Earth, and
Yeah,
for a
Yeah.
point in time, Lionheart was like the strongest DD thing you could put on Rune Fencer, and it made Rune Fencer spit out damage like crazy.
Honestly,
mhm,
I've said this a few times. Around the era of like 2016, 2017, Runefenster DPS was the best DPS out of anything.
oh
Not
yeah,
because I had, but not because I had the strongest damage, but because it would resist so many stats
They
ailments.
wouldn't, yeah, they
mhm,
wouldn't die. You know, they
And
just
then,
wouldn't get
so
paralyzed, wouldn't get, yeah.
yeah, it's like I remember, right? And so there was this one time I was doing melee Water of Courage, 18 man, and I beat out 3 Mighty Strikes warriors with Runefencer DPS simply because I would evade the stun.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so good.
mm,
Yeah,
But
it would have been
obviously,
cool to see
fell off.
Lionheart on Warriors, Lionheart on Dark Knight, even maybe would have been cool to see how it affects it. But yeah, we didn't get it.
yeah. I think Dark Knight would make sense. Warrior, I guess you have a case from Ragnarok and Helheim, but
Mhm.
I've never like been a huge greatsword on Warrior in the
So
first place.
back then,
Yeah.
Shiraj, when you did not get the divergence augment, the EPO was like, "I'm tanking," and the Lionheart was like, "I'm DDing," right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would swap
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
like 5, 6 years ago, I would swap
Mhm.
between EPO and Lionheart very frequently. Nowadays, I never take EPO off. I never use Lionheart.
That's
It's such
kinda
a
what I was
bloody
aiming at. With,
yeah,
like,
like
the
it's
boost to the weapon skill damage, if you're gonna weapon skill, there's no point to take off EPO, it's gonna do
like
nice damage with Dimmy.
I
Mhm.
will say, the only time I use Lionheart nowadays is when I take Runefencer to 9 boss sortie and I'm doing melee setup with you.
Oh yeah, I
You
forgot.
know,
Yeah, and
I
you
use
have a good time with that, don't you?
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like Lionheart beats EPO for that situation,
Mhm.
even for Intimidation. And then I'm using it for Resolution, which cranks high ass numbers. But how many people are taking Rune Fencer to 9 boss sortie in a melee
No
Mm.
one.
Exactly.
See,
Yeah.
Only
We indulge
Shiraj.
you. We indulge you because I know you know what you're doing, and you're gonna be able to heal us with sub white mage sufficiently,
and
but
you're an addict.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't trust a regular person to do that.
We're just
Yeah.
trying to let you like we're just trying to get you to not bug us about it. Because when Shiraj can't play Rune Fencer for over an hour, he starts like he starts getting itchy and like
No, he starts shaking
It starts
because
bad
he can't
shaking a little
perception.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
you see him making fake
Um,
it's not he's shaking.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You're right.
I forgot to this point. I do want to PSA. I did put up a poll for this one in chat.
Mm,
So if anybody in chat wants to vote, you can drop your opinion. I'll take it into consideration. I don't can't promise anybody else will.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, hell yeah.
the
People
I
agree with
think
me.
that it's important to like it did have its time.
Mhm,
Like there was definitely a time where you had DD rune and then you had tank rune. But I would say, as other people have said, like other weapon skills like intimidation and stuff now in weapon skill damage gear is going to do more damage. And the number one like shortfall to this weapon in the current era is that if you're a new player getting into Rune Fencer, like I'd probably recommend Aether first,
Yes.
or like
yeah.
anything else defensive, because like you're not going to be in a position to do DD until you have crazy good gear. And then at that point, you probably should have been working on Epio for a while. You know what I mean? So I think that it's definitely skippable
Yeah.
because it's one of the first Aeonics that is like kind of like God Hands for Puppet Master. But when we talk about some of the later ones, like it's just unfortunate that they introduce a weapon that's only for a tank job that has absolutely no tanking stats.
Mhm,
To your point, if there's a new player in a link shell and you're doing an Ionic climb and they're a rune fencer or an aspiring rune fencer, but they have not finished their 6-month grind for the
Yeah.
EPO, like telling them to make a Lionheart is probably a mistake.
yeah.
Like
There's
make
better
anything
options.
else.
Yeah.
Make anything else, and it will jumpstart that job for you in the
I mean,
future. So you have more job diversity.
yeah, because listen, like Rune Fencer is a tap. You don't bring Rune Fencer to DPS anymore. This isn't
Yeah.
2017. And it's like if you're going to like try tank stuff, quote unquote, with a Lionheart, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage and the group. There's no point, you know?
Mhm.
And I hate people trying to DPS on Rune Fencer because 9 out of 10 times I see them flat on their ass dead on the floor.
Or it makes you accidentally proc Kalunga, and then you lose the fight.
Nah, hey, we didn't lose that fight. We didn't lose that fight. We won.
Yeah, I had to heal you. It's struggle.
What do you
Hilarious.
mean?
I mean, I would put this in C. I don't think it's
Really?
quite as bad as sequence, but it's pretty close.
So, in my opinion, Hegmo, I was thinking the same thing, and then the longer the conversation went on, I started to think more poorly about the weapon. In that, in the modern game, this thing is just a dust magnet.
Mm,
Yeah. I
Um,
think the reason it should be in D is because the use cases are
they don't exist
super
anymore.
fringe.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So,
none of them
D
outside of
D ahead of or behind sequence?
oh, much ahead.
yeah.
Sequence can go in
Okay.
Yeah.
F tier.
Okay. Good.
Just
So
have it like
I'm
sequence,
in
in
glad
you.
we
my
agree.
opinion, is like the bottom of D, and this is probably the top of D in that
Yeah.
it has like a niche purpose as a transition weapon for people working on EPO, or like it can be used DD when you're solo rune fencer, but you wouldn't do that with sequence.
It'd be fun to play around with, I suppose, but it's
It's a
about it.
fun little toy if you have like a decked out rune fencer, but it's not good.
The thing is, even if you have a decked out Rune Fencer,
Mhm.
most of the time you're not going to use Resolution anyway because of the attack penalty. Like,
Yeah.
capping attack on Rune Fencer is very hard in today's endgame.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was master leveling my Rune Fencer in Crawler's Nest, right? Outside of Soul Voice, I was not capped attack enough to take advantage of Aria. That's
Mhm.
how bad it was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I was sub Dark, I was sub Samurai, and I just couldn't do it. If I was sub Dark Knight, I probably would have been fine with Last
Mhm.
Resort. But yeah, it's just too attack starved.
Yeah, I can see that. So I think Lionheart in D is fair. Moving
Okay.
on to everyone's favorite spade, everybody's favorite thing to dig a hole with, Tri-Edge,
Ah,
the Beastmaster
Triage.
axe. It's my favorite shovel.
Nice.
I know it's your favorite shovel.
Shovel.
Mhm.
It does look
Yeah, a
like a
little
It
shovel.
does.
it's a
It
little
does. It
little hand
does.
shovel, yeah.
I like how it says Tri-Edge, but really it's just like half
It looks like a
mowable.
trowel or whatever, like a
Yeah.
gardening
Yeah.
shovel.
Yeah.
Where's the it's one edge, really. There's
Yeah.
not even
Why say triad when there's no
Yeah.
3 here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Um, this thing's terrible. I don't know.
Honestly, uh I don't think it's terrible. I think it's kind of fills the same role as like Aeneas, and then like you've got this
Really.
weapon that before you've for Beastmaster,
Mhm.
before you've gotten in your, maybe you haven't bothered making the mythic, you don't have spell resource because you're not going to put the anything into it. Delechinus is kind of limited in its use. Like you can use Mistral Axe with this, and it's
Delechinus
got
is
Unironically
better.
high base damage.
or
It's
calamity,
got
right?
yeah, calamity and stuff like that. You can do pretty decent damage with this um, when you don't have access to other stuff.
To
I
me,
would
this is
say
on par with sequence.
no, no, no. I would say this is Tri-Edge is Ikenga's Axe Light.
Hmm, sure, but okay.
I
So
would, I actually would do
This
when I
is
first started playing Beastmaster, I would do Tri-Edge, and
mhm,
then I would sub Ikengas for the weapon skill damage bonus and stuff.
sure.
the Triage is what happens when your mom says that you've got Ikenga's axe at home. You know?
Right, right. So my thing is, I think it is worse than Dolichanis. I think it is worse than Ikenga's Axe. I
Is
think
it worse than Dolichanis?
I
I don't think so.
I'm open to debate about that, but I don't see how it could be better than Dolichanis.
From a DPS standpoint, I can't comment.
Yeah.
But from like a usability standpoint, the
Mhm.
Ambuscade axe has fusion. This is nice skill chain property.
Right.
Um, but it is very hard to overlook if you stack Tri-Edge paired with the TP bonus offhand.
Yeah.
It is quite strong.
let's call a spade here. We're either putting this in B or C tier,
Right.
Yes.
right?
I would put it in B. I
You put
personally
it
would
in
put this in
B?
B.
No way. That's
Yep.
crazy.
I
I would
think
put this in
I
B.
wouldn't put that anywhere near B.
I
think
I
you're having
would
a
get
little too
this
much nostalgia
long.
there, buddy.
Yeah.
I would get this long before I got Aeneas. Personally.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just objectively incorrect.
And that's mostly because I like Beastmaster and I
Sure.
don't like any of the Dagger jobs. And I think that the way daggers work is counterintuitive
I
to how
feel
TP is generated and all this other stuff.
I feel the
They're
Wait,
just
this
bad in
is
bias
general.
coming out here.
this is a Beastmaster job. I'll put it in S. Easy.
Yeah.
Well, it is Beastmaster. It's Beastmaster only, right?
I think
Yes.
that's a big. I
Yes,
think
it
that's a
is.
big selling point to this weapon compared to Aeneas is
I like
the
Aeonic.
job diversity, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No,
Bard,
but
dancer.
I would
Yeah.
say low C, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I don't like it.
I think it is directly comparable to Aeneas or
Yeah.
to because the weapon skill on it isn't good, but it can be used to augment good axe weapon skills. To the same
Sure.
vein, it's
Sure.
just Beastmaster as
I-
opposed to Dancer, Bard.
Mhm.
I just think for Rima, there's easier options that do what it does better.
Are there
Like,
though?
I
Because
Nagling.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced this is better than Dolichanis. Um, maybe like I said earlier that Dolichanis is aged relatively poorly. It's still good though, especially for like a new Beastmaster.
I think it's
And
pretty easily better than Dolichanis in that,
okay,
I would agree with that.
okay,
augmenting Calamity and Mistral Axe, those are
Mhm.
like Savage Blade competitors. They're that strong.
sure, okay. If you're going at the strictly because of the TP bonus for those weapon skills,
Well, yeah,
I will
absolutely.
I will allow your arguments and I'll say low C tier.
Well, what does Beast use? Like Beast is a niche job. If you're gonna DD on Beast and not use your axes to augment your pet, right? What is
There
Beast?
there was a time when Pangu was the best weapon for Mr. Lax, barring like if you had a TP bonus offhand or
Are you
if
sure?
yes, because it has the highest damage. But
I
that
don't
that
think damage equates to DPS when you
that
have the TP
that
bonus in the.
that being said, it doesn't have the TP bonus, so that's where it's going to. Like if you have the a same amount of effective TP, Pango's better, but the TP bonus does edge it up a little bit for Mr. Lax. But the thing is, like Mr. Lax isn't it's good on paper, but in practice, like it doesn't seem
It's
to
a
scale
ranged
that well.
weapon skill.
Oh my god, that's the best thing. See, Maxim has my back, has zero use. So D tier it is.
I think it's low
I think
C.
C. I would
C.
say
Okay.
C. Let's
Okay.
compromise because I would have
Okay.
chat and my chat
Yeah.
voted said B. I would say B.
That's crazy.
You guys are saying D.
Yeah.
I would compromise and say
Listen,
C.
we know you have 1,000 simps now.
Oh Jesus. All right.
Yeah,
All
he does have a
right.
few things.
Enough of that. C tier for now, and I'm grudgingly putting it in C tier.
I'm just gonna change it to D tier
Yeah,
after.
I'm gonna change it when nobody's looking. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's significantly better than Sequence. It's
Okay.
arguably better than Lionheart. I think that it's
Sure.
it's at least C.
Okay.
I do agree with that. I would put it above them, whether it lands in C or D.
Mhm.
Okay.
Chango.
Oh yeah, Chango's next. Everyone's favorite toilet brush. What do you guys think about Chango? Thoughts? Initial
I
Chango's
think
a
impressions?
it's
great
so-
starting weapon for warrior.
I think it's
Chango,
so
until
because
you
it's not,
get
it's not Nagling.
until you get Lafria or something, it's probably your best option for warrior.
Interesting.
Well, unless you're a Savage Blade spammer, in which case, like, yeah, sure. But like, I
If
think
you're solo
arguably
skill
there's
chaining, it beats
situations.
Savage, right?
Yeah, there's situations where it's better.
Myth put out a video where he compared Chango, Nagling, Lafria, and something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I compared Nagling, Chango, um, Lafria, and I did Lafria or I did Chango just stop people spam, and I did Chango like actual skill chaining.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
it was 2 Changos. That's right.
So if you're by yourself, Chango, like and this is just anecdotal. This isn't like hard testing or anything like that.
No,
If
this is
you
scientific,
yeah.
factual.
The stuff that I put in the video was anecdotal. What I'm saying right now is scientific factual.
Yeah.
The Chango stuff was winning when you were the solo DD. Um, my
Above
arguments. No, not above Lafria, above
I
Neighbor.
was gonna say,
I'm not comparing it to Lafria because Lafria won hands down, and
but
that
it beats
Yeah.
was
Savage.
No chance.
yeah, and that was when I had stage 4, not even stage 5.
Yeah.
Now it's even more. So Shango was doing really strong because of the skill chains, but that's Aeonic's thing, right? Is the skill chaining part. That's their
Yes.
whole gimmick besides the TP bonus. My the reason I like Chango is one because that's just stylistically how I prefer to play warrior. Two, you can cap haste as opposed to nagling.
With Hasa.
Yeah.
So
The hot sauce.
so while like nagling will on paper beat out a Chango if you're just spamming stuff with multiple people weapon skilling. I think it's a lot closer than people give it credit for. And the longer the fight goes on, the more Chango is going to creep up on Nagling's heels.
I kind of
Also,
agree with that.
one thing that's been overlooked as well
Mhm.
is armor break.
Yeah,
Yeah. Armor break is
And
busted. Yeah.
yeah, it's got some nice magic accuracy on the augment paired with magic
Mhm.
accuracy skill. It's quite nice.
Yep, absolutely.
I prefer to full break.
To me, I think Chango is A tier. I think it's easily as good, maybe even better than God Hands. I don't. I hesitate to say it's better because I think they're both really strong weapons that have legitimate alternatives for both of the jobs, but they also have legitimate uses.
I think
Um,
God Hands does more for Monk than Chango does
yeah,
for Warrior, but I would
yeah,
agree that they're both A tier.
yeah. I
I
agree with that. I
yeah.
think you'd use
I think
God Hands
that
more than Chango.
I think that God hands do more for monk than they do for warrior.
Mhm.
Than Chango does for warrior. But I think that Chango is arguably a better weapon than God hands. If
Well,
that
that's
makes
just
Yeah,
any
because of
sense.
Warrior,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
But my
think
point is
that
that
nails it.
you can pick up the God Hands and you can make an argument that you'll never need to make anything ever again.
True.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Django, you'll be like, "Okay,
I
my
mean, yeah,
next step is Lafria."
Mhm.
there was a period before primes you could pick up Chango and be like, okay, I'm done. You know, like,
Right.
yeah, it'd be fun to make Ukon for the auto attack stuff, but like I don't need to pursue anything else.
Mhm.
You can be a really strong warrior with just Chango pre primes. And if you're not into sortie yet, or you're not aspiring to do sortie for whatever reason, then yeah, Chango is like probably one of your best bets. But yeah,
Yeah,
And back
and
then, even, you had less attack, less weapon skill damage, and Nagling was not as easy to compare.
yeah. Even with a stage 5 Lafria, I use Chango every day. Um, because you need the light skill chain sometimes.
yeah,
So
I think,
it's still really,
it
really
definitely belongs high A tier. We can debate whether it beats God Hands or not in that slot, but it's
yeah.
definitely up there in contention for one of the best, Aeonic weapons on the market.
yeah. I mean, half of my sortie runs I'm in Chango because
Mhm.
of I use it for Triple X and Dartok, and you know I use it for all the magic bursting, like opening skill chains and stuff, because it doesn't kill stuff. You know, it's
Mhm.
like the lower damage is better with Ukos or something is better. Um, so yeah,
Enoch
I use
is,
it a lot.
Enoch is representing our feelings right now. He says, "It annoys me still that DPS comparison is always relative to an ambuscade weapon."
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
goes
mean,
to show.
that's the check on everything. Like whenever you're reviewing a weapon for any physical DPS, it's like, well, is it better than Nagling? You have to beat that first, you know? It's unfortunate, but
The
you know,
overwhelming
it's just
ease
life.
of access to Nagling is really what does that. Like,
Yeah.
if Nagling was really hard to get, but it was like all jobs, super busted weapon, it wouldn't
Right.
really be as much of a topic because of how hard it is to get, but it's so easy so that
Mhm.
every new player can just grab it within like a week of play if they really wanted to.
Give it as the master trial reward, you know, just like, oh yeah, beat Chaos and Bahamut and you get a nagling. There you go.
Yeah. Jesus.
You
So
get a Nagling, but it's whatever weapon slot you want it to be, but it
Oh
does
now we're
the
talking.
exact same weapon skill property and scaling.
Mhm.
So I was just thinking, looking at this tier list, outside of the hand-to-hand, like, it's kinda shaping up to be very similar to the primes. You got the two-hander up there, the dagger's shortly behind the two-hander. So let's get to the scythe, huh?
The scythe. Oh
Mm,
yeah, that is next,
Anguta.
isn't it?
And Guta.
Yeah, Anguta. What do you guys think about Anguta? I have some thoughts on this, but I want to hear from you guys first.
I would
Uh,
as a new Dark Knight, I would
Mhm.
use Apocalypse over this.
I would
Okay,
use Apocalypse over this. I would use Father Time over Anguta.
really?
If I just had gil to spend, I would use Father Time. Father Time's pretty busted.
Is it? I
Uh,
didn't know
I
that.
have
it's
seen,
actually pretty good.
most human beings are not so masochistic to make a, Empyrean scythe
Hmm.
because it has to do with killing that stupid Mandragora.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's called Redemption,
Right, right.
but I
Yeah.
would I would say Redemption, when I do see it used,
Mhm.
similar to, like, Torque Cleaver, it does fat damage. I would use that over this. I think this scythe is one of the worst, scythe Rima.
Yeah.
Really?
I think Liberator is insane.
Okay.
The Very Slept On,
Hmm.
maybe the second best scythe in the game.
Right.
So then if you put that
Yeah.
on the table, that's better than this. I already said I think Apocalypse is better than this because, it does good damage, you get the haste aftermath,
Hmm.
and you heal yourself with Catastrophe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Well,
think that this is one of those core examples of like there's so many options. It's like when you talk about a Rima for Corsair or for Ranger or something like that. And it's like you look at all 15 of the things they can equip and you're like, well, there's so many other better things. There's so like if you're gonna spend time and money, like you'd be better off getting a lot of different stuff.
So let's talk the weapon skill, right? Entropy. Entropy heals your MP, does decent damage. It's
Yeah.
mainly used as a component in a multi-step darkness skill chain, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Augmenting it doesn't really make it exciting. So what weapon skill are you using with Anguta? Using Cross Reaper.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah, well, entropy is great, but you get as much benefit from just putting a merit point into entropy. You know what I mean?
Yes, agreed.
It doesn't scale with Anguta to a point where it's ridiculously strong.
Mhm.
Hmm. So I actually think that Anguta has aged well because of the because of Sortie. I think before Sortie, if you had asked me about this weapon, I'd have said what's the point in it? But now as an alternative to Liberator, I think it's one of Dark Knight's only options to have a strong weapon skill in Sortie and not be at any sort of risk of light skill chaining when you don't want to.
Mm,
It's really, really strong for Gartel. It has a few use case scenarios. So I don't think it's super strong or anything, but I think it has more use case scenarios when you compare it to, say, like Sequence or Lionheart or something. I don't think it's a terrible one.
Unironically, I've seen Dark Knights, whip out the Blurred Shield and Loxodic Mace and do fat damage, unlike
oh
Gartel.
yeah.
I believe it. I can see that. But I like
But why not
you're
use Niggling?
losing. Jesus Christ.
What was that,
Um,
Try?
Use Niggling.
no.
Because of course there's
Weapon
already
skill
using it
wall.
and you
You
don't
got the
want to
Bard
double
and the
up on
Core
weapon
using it.
skill wall, yeah.
uh, I think if you put the two against each other, Cross Reaper is not such a weak weapon skill that it should theoretically lose to Judgment when you're losing the TP bonus and Dark Knight doesn't get a lot of fencer, and you're also losing your two-handed haste. I guess if you have like a dancer or something in the party, or like even a sub dancer with haste on, but that might help a little. So I think Anguta still has some solid use cases.
Which is why I would put it in C tier,
Yeah,
not D tier.
yeah, I agree. I think I would put it above Tri-Edge to me.
Yes. I think it's not even close, like,
Yeah.
Egg is
this is
seething on the inside right now.
I think this weapon, like, you pick it up as Babby's first Dark Knight,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you get a little edge to you, you put on your black makeup, and you're
Hmm.
like, "I'm ready to go."
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It's not really it's a big scythe, but it's not a really cool looking scythe, is it?
I think it's kind
No,
of
It's kind
cool.
of weird
I think it's
looking.
I
okay.
don't like. I hate
It's
it.
it's kind of
That looks
strange,
really gaudy.
but if I don't have to look at it for longer than like 4 seconds, I like it. But any longer than that, I'm like, this is weird. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
Very fat, very flat,
Hmm.
very weird looking.
Hmm.
I think in a way I would argue that Tri-Edge has fewer competitors, so it's better in its niche, whereas Anguta has such a small use case
Hmm.
and there's so many other weapons that you could get. I would say that Tri-Edge is more useful.
I agree with that.
But like there's also the argument, and I know that some people don't agree, like
Hmm.
Dark Knight's more useful than Beastmaster is in
Right.
some ways. So like if you're choosing between which Rima to make as your first one, which Aeonic is your very first Aeonic, because you want to be useful to the Alliance, Angut is probably going to get you further than Tri-Edge is. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, Anguta easy S tier. Uh, moving on to our next two-hander, Trishula.
Trisha,
I have a Trishula, and I have not once ever used it.
really, Trishula is
Trishula.
actually fantastic.
Yeah, no,
Wait, are you
that's
talking about
Trishula
the
is
are you
go
talking
ahead.
about the
it's just
dragoon or the club?
yeah,
The Dragoon, Trishula,
Okay,
not
the
okay,
Dragoon
Trishia,
Trish.
or
okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I
Tishtria.
misheard. I
Yeah,
misheard.
Tishtria is not the same as Trish Ula.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
misheard. Okay, leave me alone.
Dragoon polearm. It's very
Dragoon
strong.
Polearm, it is strong. It's just like Chango because
Mhm.
just like anything with the ultimate weapon skill chain, like very, very good as a solo engaged multi-step. You're doing umbras, etc. And Dragoon is exceptionally good at that, right? Dragoon builds TP super fast. With the TP bonus added on, you can do you can like just bust out umbras like crazy with
Right.
Trishula,
Stardiver's
which is
good.
cool.
Yeah. I think the biggest downfall of Trishula is that Diarmuid's not on it because polearm one
Oh
and twos
yeah.
kind of suck.
Yeah. I think that like the one are like I will say that I've known multiple people,
Mhm.
myself included, that was really, really excited about playing Dragoon or like came back to the game. They're like, I want to be a Dragoon main.
Oh
And we're
yeah.
like, okay, cool. Let's get you a Trishula.
Mhm.
Let's do that. We can knock it out for you. And 99% of the time, the progression is like, okay, I got it. Hell yeah. And then 10 minutes later, they're like, why is my damage lower than when I was spamming Impulse Drive and was Shining One?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna make the Rima comparison, like
Right.
Shining One's better than Trishula. Like
Yeah.
There are
It's
situations where Trishula will beat Shining One, like mostly skill chain situations,
yeah,
but you're not wrong.
if you're Zerging, Impulse
mhm.
Drive is just ridiculously strong. If you're doing solo Umbra, then sure.
Yeah. To me, Trishula is a B tier. It's a good weapon. I think every Dragoon should probably have one just to like play around with in your back pocket.
Unless they
But
have the prime.
right, the prime is so strong. I think the problem with this weapon is not the weapon itself. I think it's more so
It's
the
competition.
polearm weapon skills. And yeah, what the competition just does more to augment those polearm weapon skills.
I think Hegmo nailed it in that Shining One is the direct comparison, not
Yeah,
even Nagling,
yeah.
not even other Rima.
Mhm.
It's the Shining One.
Yeah, and I think that like unfortunately for Dragoon, like when you look at the other options, what Ryu and I don't even remember the other one. They're also not great. Like I think situationally maybe Ryu's okay, like because
Mhm.
of the aftermath and stuff, but they're Trishul was the best option for a while. But yeah, I think that if you have aspirations to get a prime, Diarmuid's going to be much better.
Mhm.
And I think that if you're zerging and alliance content, you're going to be behind where you were with impulse drive spam. Um,
I unironically think Diarmuid is the strongest physical weapon skill in the game.
oh, absolutely, I think so too.
Yeah.
We
Especially
put
with like hang on and everything stacked on top of it.
Mhm.
we put the
So
prime spear at the tippy top of A tier,
Yeah.
just to
you know
be
what I'm
transparent.
gonna say at that, right?
What's that, Shirash? Probably some troll comment. Let's hear it.
you haven't seen Nagling in action.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is that the other thing
Yeah.
is that like for until primes came out,
Mhm.
the truth was that if you were a dragoon in a party, most likely they were like, so you have nagling, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were using nagling anyway. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's where all pole arms were just because of how the pole weapon skills worked, stats worked, etc. Is that Savage Blade pulled ahead even on Dragoon.
I mean, one thing that's as well is a lot of stuff resist piercing damage. So
Yeah,
like
that's true.
it does hurt.
For sure.
Well, against stuff like stuff that resists slashing, it's even fine to use piercing on. You would switch to a spear for bones, for example.
What do you?
I think you'd rather
Would
use a
you?
slashing.
I
Yeah, piercing's worse than slashing.
Yeah, because the
Against bones?
bones in particular
Yeah,
have a
think about
negative
stabbing somebody
resist.
in there, trying to stab a skeleton. Your spear just goes to the rib cage and comes right back out. You don't
Doesn't
even
do
hit them.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Um, yeah. What you know what I've actually been doing lately is in Sortie, I've been raiding or using raid thrust on the Botulus on Warrior, and that
Oh hell yeah,
actually it
nice.
actually does some okay damage. It does like 30 to 40k, and that's with no like magic buffs or anything. It's not terrible. So for me, Trishula B tier.
Below Ineas.
Yes,
Yeah.
below Ineas. I agree.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's better than Anguta. Yeah, I put it at the bottom of B right now. That's
Most
fair.
things are better than Anguta.
We've got a pretty
Yeah.
even spread.
Yeah, we have a really
Ernie,
nice like ergonomic or not ergonomic, what the fuck?
yeah,
Geometric fucking
Feels good in your hand?
shoulder.
yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Feels very nice in the hand.
yeah. A long pole does feel nice in the hand, doesn't it?
Good.
Ernie requested that we put
We
Heishi up in the
do.
list because he wants to
Okay.
go to sleep.
Okay, yeah. I think
You
is
have to stay up.
Aishi's up next, isn't it? It actually is, unironically
Oh,
No, no,
well,
enough.
there
skip
you
it,
go.
skip it.
Yeah,
Skip
we'll
it.
skip it and put it at the very end just for Ernie. So Heishi. This is the ninja katana. Only ninja can use it.
Yeah,
And I think it's the best katana.
It is the best katana.
is it the best katana?
The problem is katanas suck.
I think that the Prime Katana might be competitive with it
Is it?
if you're
I
gonna
would say
put.
this. I would say this. Uh, Nagling, unfortunately, is Ninja's best physical weapon skill
Mhm.
user. Like Blade Savage.
I think
If
when
you
I
get
was
that,
testing, what was Zesho Meppo or whatever. And granted, my testing is as scientific as this list, so is
Yeah,
infallible.
super good.
I think that across the board, Zesho Meppo hit harder than Savage Blade did
I wasn't
in the
done.
same situation. Okay.
so,
Okay. Okay.
so Nagling is their best physical weapon skill user, and then similar to Dragoon, you get the Prime and you replace that with your Prime weapon. So
Yeah.
I don't know what Dokoku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dokoku is the best physical
Yeah.
katana.
Mhm.
I mean,
Heishi is damn near, and then also just straight up best for all your hybrids.
Yeah.
honestly, I would say Haishi's better than the Prime.
Yeah, because of what I just said.
Not even
Yeah.
that. It's
And
like
I mean, Ninja benefits so strongly from the hybrids too. Like that's where they actually shine, and why Ninja kind of sucks in the long run because you can't always use your hybrids.
but I think Heishi would see more usage than the Prime as well, simply because it's so hard to cap attack on a ninja.
Yeah.
Like
So what is Heishi giving you that the prime is not, Josh?
utility.
What kind of utility are we
Like
talking about?
you would use skill chains,
Mhm.
radiance. You would use it for hybrids, and hybrids are strong, as you know.
Right.
But like with the if you use it with a prime, you're not going to use the prime. You're just going to use Savage Blade because you're not capped attack. You
Okay.
know.
Well, it depends. Like, if you're in a crazy super buff, if you're a crazy super buff solo ninja with a Geo Bard core red mage in your party, you may be benefiting from a Dokoku, but
Maybe.
that party setup is going to be pretty rare.
And at that
Um,
point, you're probably already going to be hitting for 99k anyway, so it's negligible which
yeah,
weapon you use.
yeah.
So, question for you, Shiraj. You use
Yeah,
Heishi in Crystal Paradise, right?
you would, yeah. I mean, you would use Nagling for like
Mhm.
90% of, well, 80% of the fight, and then Taishi for the hybrids afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, so you switch to hybrids. That's why you're using the Heishi. Okay, that's what I was
But
gonna
yeah,
ask.
you.
Is what weapon skill you were using?
And I
Um,
mean, I think too, like when you're talking about hybrids and stuff, like I when I was setting up, I played ninja for a little bit just for fun, and
Mhm.
like ambuscade katana was hitting cap damage hybrids. So like it, I don't. Is the benefit of being able to do higher damage hybrids with Heishi really applicable to anything
I
when you
think it
can do
is.
cap damage hybrids most of the time anyway?
You need to hit a certain TP threshold to hit cap
Mm,
damage a lot of the time on hybrids. Like obviously depending on what you're doing, depending on your buffs, etc., etc.
yeah,
But a lot of the times, like the hybrids scale crazy amounts with TP. So 500 TP bonus. Like when I was mastering ninja, I would do a Heishi plus a TP offhand katana,
yeah.
and that sent my hybrids from doing like 30 to 40k at 1k to cap damage. It was a big boost.
I would say, describing Heishi, you could say it's very similar to God Hands in that
Mhm,
you pick it up and you turn on the job.
mhm.
Granted, you're turning on ninja. It's not
Yeah.
like very strong, but you're turning on the job.
Yeah. I will say the one last thing I want to mention about Heishi is that Blade 10 is not as bad as people make it out to be. It's not Savage Blade. That's the problem that it faces, right? It's not going to hit as hard as Savage Blade. But Blade 10 is a fairly strong physical weapon skill, and you can do some cool skill chaining stuff with uh, the katana.
A tier weapon for a D tier job. Rip.
Damn,
Yes, very
that's
much so.
Um,
tragic. I think that's fair though. I think should should we put Heishi at the top of B or an A to kind of balance it out with the ninja of it all?
I would say B,
B,
honestly.
say B.
I would say B, but the top of B.
I
I would
think
say
It's
top
I
three.
put it
okay.
definitely in between the dagger and the hand to hand.
Hmm.
But I think it's more just considering like it how much again, like I always go back to like you're a new player and
Yeah,
like you have your first opportunity to join an Aeonic group and you're
right,
picking which weapon you want to which malform do you want to pick up. Um I wouldn't necessarily say Heishi unless you're like, I love ninja and I really only want to play ninja. Then it's like, yeah, sure, get the weapon you're gonna have fun with. But like if you want to get something for utility, it's like, yeah, it's good for you, but it's not gonna do much. Like I don't know. I would put it in B.
right. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Honestly, Heishi is a really good solo weapon for ninja as well, simply
Mhm.
just because of the skill chain.
Yeah,
Like, if you're solo, shun to shun, which is just a regular light with AM2, it's not that bad, honestly, because if you're solo, you're severely under attack capped anyway. So you're not gonna do
right.
great
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
So it is quite good for a solo weapon.
yeah, I
Now, is
agree.
it the best? I don't know. I can't comment on that.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but whether it is stronger as a physical weapon versus Dokoku, because some people have stated that it is stronger. I'm not convinced by that. I still think Dokoku has some like potential, but whether how it fits into it all really depends on how you're playing. I think Keishi's great, and I think it's time to move on to the next one, which is Doji. So we did Heishi, now we have Doji
Doji.
Kiri
Okay.
Yasutsuno, which is the Great Katana. It's actually kind of similar to Heishi because it's really good for hybrids.
Yep.
What do you guys think about Doji?
Doji's amazing.
How amazing.
I think it's like I think it's like C tier, honestly,
Really? Why is
Yeah.
that?
Because every time I buy some MLs from an RMT, their
Mhm.
Jinpu is just like terrible.
That's a good point. I also
Yeah.
base my Aeonic tier list on how RMTs use them. So
Exactly. Exactly.
I think Doji is the exact same as Heishi, where it's very, very strong for hybrids. And it struggles even more so than Heishi with physical weapon skills. The TP
Mm,
bonus is good. But I
I mean, well, I would say like a samurai that can unlock they get their doji and
mhm,
like they're they are mastering the ability to do a 5-step radiance or something.
right.
Um is super strong. It's probably more powerful than a lot of things that are in your toolbox at that point.
Yeah. If you're skill chaining, it's amazing. I think it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. I think this has the same issue for physical weapon skills that Trishula has, where great katana weapon skills just aren't very strong.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're allowed to play Sam the way you want to play Sam, which is doing big 4 to 6 step skill chains, Doji is fucking awesome. It'll tear
Yeah.
through stuff. But if you're spamming Fudo over and over again in segments, it's not going to feel like it.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. And I mean, I think that like, if you're going to make the argument for the new player, like
Mhm.
this is you could go a lot farther with a doji as your first Aeonic than you could with a lot of the other weapons. I think like it'll take you pretty
Yeah,
far into end game. And I think that like there's some people that do like samurai is the primary solo engaged um uh fighter in a sortie run, and they're
mhm.
doing like just solo radiance or solo darkness or whatever and bouncing back and forth, and you can do some crazy damage with it. But
Kibble says he thinks Doji is worse at skill chaining than Mas.
really,
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a samurai, but I
Mhm.
find that hard to believe on the outset.
Yeah.
But I know him to be a samurai, so
I mean, when you think about it, a lot of the like light skill chains, I mean, even some of the dark ones, right? Like Rana to Fudo,
Mhm.
a lot of the skill chains are ending in Fudo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it
and
makes
obviously
sense. Fudo's gonna be
your skill
stronger.
chain, yeah, your skill chain is directly proportionate to how much damage your weapon skill does.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I could see that. And my move may just missed. Fuck.
in in the grand scheme of things, like if we were to put like the samurai Rima great katanas all next to each other, um, I think Doji should probably be the first one a Sam chases. I think it's
Yeah,
because it's more accessible and it is very strong for either situation, whether you're doing hybrids or skill chaining, and then probably a little bit less physical, but it'll still get the job done, right? And then I
yeah.
think
I
it's
mean, like,
yeah,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
if you're a new player and you're like picking up doji, you have the
Mhm.
option to pick up doji, and then you're like working on master levels or something like that. You can
Oh
you
yeah,
can take it out and just do cap damage jinpus
yeah.
in King Rampairs or whatever. Like you'll do the damage with it.
Mhm. I still use Doji even though I have the Kusanagi Prime for hybrids. I'll always switch to Doji for doing like Kagero, Jinpu.
I think Doji fills a very similar role to Chango.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think
I think A.
yeah,
Chat
I
said
think it
B.
deserves it.
I think A.
Yeah.
So my immediate like inclination is to put it between Chango and God Hands.
If you don't have Masamune,
Hmm.
it's it's very similar. Then like there are arguments that one will be better than the other, but once you get the prime, then it's like okay, I won't
Yeah,
use either anymore.
yeah. I think Doji has more use cases than Masamune once you have the Prime.
Honestly, I think it's a B tier simply because it's samurai.
Jesus Christ.
Half of your weapon skills are gonna whiff anyway.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Especially the Jinpus, they're always gonna miss.
Bro,
Okay.
I'm doing my peculiar fold and I just missed two Mumes.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's the life of the single hit weapon skill.
Why did I make this
So
weapon?
I think Doji, I put it on A tier. Uh, Next on the list we have not Trishula but Tistria, which is the club. We have
Okay.
White Mage and Geo, and it is um
Does absolutely nothing
it
for
has
either of them.
it has Realm Razor on it. So I've never even used the weapon skill Realm Razor.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
know
a
what
I
it
bad
think
weapon.
is. Yeah,
it's pretty
it's what
strong.
I would get.
It rivals Savage Blade.
Oh yeah, I could
So
cheat that for sure.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna fucking mute you for the rest of the episode, Shirash.
Yeah.
yeah.
Realm Razor is like, I mean, it's just a physical damage, right?
Right.
Sevenfold hit.
I think so.
It's like
I
a,
don't know.
and it's your melee. You know, there's nothing on this weapon that's good for Geo or White
Mhm.
Mage except for maybe like you're you're really bored and you're fighting and you're dumping TP and you don't have another weapon.
So I think Tish is not a terrible club. I actually think it's a good club. Um,
Very
but
good.
but it's only good for a very few things. I think
Hmm.
it's the second best club to use for Ammonon behind Lorgamore.
Yeah, true.
It's gonna be doing fat judgments for Geo. Um, Dex, if you were
And you get the TP
meleeing,
bonus on it, which was great for Amazon.
yeah, absolutely. Dex, if you were
Before sorting,
meleeing on Geo, would you use Tistria over like Idris?
yeah. Before sortie,
Hmm.
I would say I did not value this at all.
Yeah,
And after sortie, I was like, oh, this is really strong.
yeah.
Um, in a general sense, I would say like on Ammonon, you
Hmm.
can use the prime weapon, um, just to do fat numbers.
Yeah,
But you could use Tish until it's like stage 5 or stage 4.
yeah.
And even before that, like on other bosses, I would even consider using Tish over the stage 4 or 5 prime because of store TP on it, because of the TP
Hmm.
bonus for spamming.
Yeah, and I think Judgment is going to have less detrimental skill chain properties than Dagda at times because I think Dagda paired with a couple things can create distortion, which is not going to do you good on Dartok.
Hmm.
So I like Tish. I just think the use case scenario is low.
Yeah,
So
I think
because
it's
of
like,
that,
again, like going back to the new player vibe. It's like
mhm,
the this weapon becomes viable and useful when you're doing Ammon on hard mode. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
like
right.
before that, maybe if you only play white mage and you're just looking for something to like
Mhm.
solo with and do some damage, I could see maybe some use for it. But like, yeah, it's just there's very limited time when this will be viable. Sorry, I keep forgetting to put polls up.
That's okay. So for me, this goes bottom of B, maybe top of C, just because it is good. It's just how often you're going to be using it is going to widely vary depending on what content you're doing.
To Hegmo's point, this is nobody's first Aionic.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
This is like your fifth Ionic. You know what you're doing, and
Hmm.
you happen to like need it for this niche role where you're DDing on Geo. And outside of that, it's dog water. But like when you do use it for that, okay, wow, it's actually doing good judgment.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's like exceptional by any means. And
Mhm.
when you look at the tier list already, and you have what you have in the B tier, I think it could go like top of C.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's above Anguta, way above Tri-Edge. Uh, but you know, I don't like the shovel, so we'll see.
Even if you only have white mage main and you only have white mage leveled, you should still get Chango or Doji and start a DD job than getting Tish first. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
This is like your third or fourth Aeonic when you're
Mhm.
like looking for a random thing to do that might be useful later, but not the one that's going to make the most impact to your first Aeonic
Mhm.
in the game.
Yeah, I I think this is like a project for higher end players that want to have like more damage for Ammonon or like whatever niche scenario they're using a melee geo and don't want to spend the points for the Prime Club. Cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is let's see, we have Kotvanga, the staff.
Hmm.
Vanga is
Staff.
cute.
Black Mage, Summoner, Scholar. I've always liked
The
how this
little
staff looks.
the little
Oh, it looks
piggy
very
tail
nice.
staff.
Yeah, I really like
Aesthetic.
how this looks.
G tier.
G tier. Really? I don't think it's G tier, but
It's Ironically, its best purpose is for occultic human, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strong for Cataclysm. If you are doing melee black mage, it's very strong for that.
That's fair.
I do have a story about this weapon.
Yeah, go for
Like,
it.
Oh,
so in around 2018, I was playing Scholar, right? And
Mhm.
I was never allowed to play Scholar with people, so I was just like, it's my little solo job. And I used Katvanga to solo Neek for the first time, where I would use Occult Acumen because do you know how like Neek does the full dispel if you take too long? It's on
yeah.
a timer.
Mhm.
So I would use Occult Acumen to get TP to weapon skill to force the wipe proc. And since it's a luck based proc, I would have to keep doing it.
Okay.
And it came in handy. It's a good weapon.
Yeah.
Good weapon for that one little scenario.
If you are a black mage aficionado and you want to go out and pull 1,000 mobs with mana wall and cataclysm everything or
Oh,
earth
yeah.
pressure everything, then this is a fun weapon to have. Outside of that, I don't see too many uses for it.
Let's just say Shatter Soul is horrendous.
Right. Yeah, Shatter Soul is not good. I wouldn't use it.
Somebody said earlier that they use it in like Dynamis or something to reduce because it has an MDB down.
Yeah, I
They
think
reduce enemies. It's like a shell crusher.
I think you can do the same thing with Vita Hunter.
Mhm.
Um,
What's
you
up?
can. It's just the issue is a lot of the content it doesn't land on. Like Ongo, for example, you will not land it.
Right.
That magic defense down, it's not going to land.
Yeah.
Anything modern you want to land it on, it's not gonna land. So what's the
Right.
point?
Yeah.
See, I used the staff weapon skill on Ongo, not because I was trying to land the MDB down, but because I wanted to magic burst impact, and that was a good way to open the skill chain right at the beginning
Yeah.
of the fight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
Yeah, I
I
think this is I mean another one and like maybe the worst offender of this is that like Black Mage Summoner Scholar, it's got no int, it's got no magic accuracy,
right.
it's got no pet stats. It's just like this weird physical stat stick for 3 caster jobs.
Okay. Yeah, I to me this is purely you're playing with occult acumen for a very specific reason, which
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't think is going to happen too often these days. Just because if you're using occult acumen stuff, you're probably trying to skill chain. That way you can magic burst on scholar or black mage, and that's just not going to be as relevant with no magic stats. So you can do that
Looking at
with
our
other
established
styles.
tier list, though, I would
Mhm.
say that is a purpose the weapon serves, whereas the D tier is kind of relegated to no longer has a purpose. Can you, in good conscience,
Um,
put this in D tier?
I
I
could, yeah.
Yeah, I think the use case of doing
It looks
AoE
cool.
black mage stuff is slightly above the use case of Lionheart. Just
Yeah,
barely. Just barely. So I
I,
don't
I
know.
agree
The
with that.
bottom of C or well, I
I
mean
think it's
I'd put it above Tri-Edge, obviously.
I think it's
Um,
I think it's
Ooh, I would
ooh,
not.
I think it's
That's
worse than the
defensive.
shovel, but
yeah.
I don't know if it's D tier worse. That's my
Yeah.
only like.
Yeah. I agree. I think I'm torn. I could put it between halfway between C and D.
I
It's
I
would
very
think
I
it's
close.
would
just
put
like
it in D. Personally, I'd
I
put
think
it
it's
in
the
D.
bottom tier C weapon because it has a purpose, even
Yeah.
though it's a bad purpose. Whereas if D tier weapons don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
Cal says at least the lock style is good, which he makes a good
Yeah.
point. So like
That's it gives us
maybe
some bonus points for sure.
only because of the little curly Q at the end of it,
Mhm.
we
Curly Q.
can
It's
yeah.
a cool looking staff. It is. Okay, so next up we have Fail Not, which is ironic because that's all this bow does.
Whoa, whoa,
Feel a
whoa.
lot more like it.
Flaming arrow in Dynamis. Crack damage.
Actually, I don't know if you remember this Dex, but I used to use this bow on our RP runs. When
Really?
yeah, so the bow. Well, I'll first say the bow is bad, right?
I
There's
mean,
not
However,
bow is bad.
yeah,
Until this is another example of like until the Aeonic came out, the
right.
bow itself bows in general were just really bad.
Right. It
With
suffers
the exception of
from
before they fixed flaming arrow and it
yeah.
could do overcap damage or whatever.
It suffers from the exact same thing that the katana weapon skills, and even to like a bigger extent, and the polearm weapon skills do. Archery weapon skills just suck. But what this weapon is good for is when you're farming Odyssey RP and you have no other like buffers. If you're in an underbuffed situation and you can stand back and not take any damage while you're getting your TP bonus and your true shot range, you can do some okay damage comparatively when you're underbuffed and you want to just do piercing damage. That's when I used it
I,
for Odyssey RP.
I need to say this: like
Mhm,
all Rima bows and all Rima guns
mhm.
have the purpose of their ammo,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the the Aeonic bow and gun, both of them, the
Mhm.
chrono ammo
Mhm.
are some of the best ammo in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
the best
chat
physical.
said the same thing, and I was about to argue that, like, because of Chrono Arrow, that's the reason to get this bow,
Right.
is for that. That's why I made it. You know, like, I made it
Yeah.
to get the arrow. Um, so it is, I mean, it you can't remove the arrow from it because that's half the weapon, really.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the arrow was kind of useless until Sarv. Like I had it before
Yeah,
that
because you had no
because
other no bow to
yeah,
use it on.
yeah. I had it before that because I liked to use Game Diva
Maybe
when
for
Air
yeah.
Body
Yeah,
V20.
for memeing around with Gundiva
Right.
and, you know,
But ultimately, like this there's not a lot of use cases for the bow itself. Um
maybe Arabati, Yoichi bow with the arrow, maybe.
The arrow is definitely the
um
best, like, to pick up if you're
yeah,
going to use a bow. Bows themselves are
Yeah.
niche in that you don't need to use bows ever. You could just use guns.
right. But I want to use the
Um,
bow. Is the thing.
Yeah.
if you're a
I
bow
mean, bows are
enthusiast,
cool.
I would say flaming
Isn't
arrow
this
It's amazing.
will outdo
isn't
hot
this
shot.
this is kind of realistic, don't you think, right? Like Final Fantasy transitioned from using bows in the past to using guns in the future. That's kind of like in real life. You'd use bows to start off, and now we just use guns. Hell yeah.
But it still makes me
Although I
sad.
would say that, like, outside of, like, hate control issues, Panaka might be, like, the best weapon for Ranger now.
If you're just doing damage and there's no
Yeah.
worry about hate,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think
Um,
Sarv is a stronger weapon skill than Terminus, but
so
that's
Yeah.
getting ahead of this conversation.
yeah.
One actually question about that is that really true? Because doesn't I heard from someone, doesn't Saab take 2 shots to get to 1k, whereas the gun takes one after you
With
Um,
upgrade?
double shot,
No. I'm not too sure.
it
I
if
don't
you
think you
don't
can
have double
ever
shot,
get
it should
one shot.
probably take two each. But then again, I don't have either of the primes, so I'd have to do a little
Yeah,
bit of research on that.
I think you're referring to double shot.
it might be. I'm not too sure. Like that's the thing is like I'm trying to like get context because
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know a ton about it.
Yeah. For me, the bow itself would be in D, but the arrow pulls it up to C because it has that use.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Where in
very happy
C?
with that.
Where would you put it in C? I think it's
Um, I would put
better
it
than
above
most of
Anguta.
those
I
weapons.
would put it above
Yeah, I'd
Anguta.
agree with that.
Yeah, I would put it right above Anguta, right below Trishtia.
Mhm.
If I could change the icon to the quiver instead of the bow, I'd feel more comfortable, but, like,
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair.
Similar to the Prime tier list, like the whole reason I valued the gun so highly was because of the bullet.
Yeah. So next on the list, we do have the gun, Fomalhaut, Ranger and
yeah.
Core. Uh, very strong. I think this is
Mhm.
actually one of the most commonly used guns these days, and for good
Yeah, because
reason.
the TP bonus and everything.
Yeah,
It's just yeah.
it's good for last stand physical. It's good for hybrids, hotshot. It's good for pure magic or let and salute. If you're not using a death penalty, it's still really strong. Um, it's a really good all around gun. If you're a Corsair, this would be the first Aeonic outfit.
This would be the first
Yeah.
Rima I would make on Corsair.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think
it's you. This is
it's
what to
really
work on while you're working on your other remas, because
Mhm.
like it's just it's quick, it's easy, and it unlocks a lot for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus, another another case of the ammo is really really good. You're going to be
Yep.
using this ammo if you're shooting an Armageddon or something like that. Trying to meme it up on the crit rate.
Unironically, like the gun is identical to the bow and what it does and what it
Mhm.
provides, except that it has 2 jobs on it, and one of those jobs, unlike Ranger, is extremely potent in every activity in the game.
Yeah.
That and
For
like I think that like Last Stand is just a better weapon skill. You know
yeah,
what I
Oh,
mean?
that
Like,
too, that
yeah.
too. Last Stand is very strong.
yeah, and if you're on Ranger, you get True Flight, which is better than any of the
Yeah.
bow weapon skills. If you're on core, you get Let and Salute, again better than any of the weapon skills.
This is
So
the only weapon on this list that was used to world's first master trial.
yeah,
Oh fuck. Sorry. I have no idea how long ago I hit 500 job points. It could have been like an hour ago.
I was like, "Did we do something wrong?" You're like, "I'm done with Summoner."
All right. But I would say A. I think this is a good A.
Yeah, it's a great A
Honest,
weapon.
honestly, I would say S.
Really?
It's one of the best prime weapons.
You mean
You can
Aeonics?
you can put off making death penalty because this will do well enough for lead and salute.
yeah,
This is arguably the best physical shooting gun. Like you can get into the weeds
mhm.
on Corsair and be like, Terminus with Erp versus this, but the TP bonus and the speed at which you're going to pump out high TP weapon skills, whether it be Last Stand or Detonator, both
Mhm.
are very strong with that 500 boost.
Isn't it
The
also
bullet
best for hybrids?
The bullet's amazing. It's the best for hot shot hybrids, like you're saying.
Hmm.
So you said S tier.
Yeah, I would say either A plus or S minus
I
is
think,
fair.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a hard
I think
choice.
it's going to come down to like how close do you want to put it to what is going to be an S tier.
I
Yeah.
think it's not in the same category. Personally,
Yeah.
I think
Um.
there are weapons that beat this when you have it. Um, it's not the end all be all.
Mhm.
It compares to all them, which is why I would put it at the top of A.
I think for core, it's an S tier weapon. I think for Ranger, it's an A tier weapon.
Yeah, so I would split the difference and go A plus.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, the
Above
last
Chango, I
one,
assume. Yeah.
last one that we have. Oh no, not the last one. Sorry, the
Oh, wait,
second
there's
one.
two more. Yeah.
Sorry. Marcius.
He decided that the shield just doesn't exist, which is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Sometimes I wish it didn't.
Mhm.
Um. Okay, Marcius. Dex, why don't you talk about Marcius?
Uh, when you think of Bard, every Bard's best song that is always the most important song is Honor March, and this provides Honor March.
Yeah.
S tier, we can end the conversation.
See, if I was
Um,
to be a contrarian, I think it's like a B tier, honestly.
Oh my god.
it's like a wild statement when Hegmo can't help himself when you say that
No,
shit.
what did I
Like, if this didn't provide Honor March, it would be dog shit.
Mhm.
Like, I'm
It,
just trying to like give
well,
you
because
that
yeah,
spicy
if
comment,
it
you know?
if it
like
didn't
I'm trying
provide
to think
honor
of a
march, it
world where
wouldn't
you
do
could even
anything.
justify that statement. Well, it would do something. It would give the song duration similar
Nah,
to what you call it.
Yeah.
so
That's not
let's do
nothing.
the outrageous take and then you clip it and then put it at the start of the
Yeah.
video, yeah. Okay, so
Okay,
I think
you want me to do the outrageous take? I'll do it.
yeah, you do it.
Okay, so in sortie, um, when I get upstairs after doing Soul Voice on Aita, I switch to Miracle Cheer and I use Victory March instead of Honor March, and we kill just as fast. So you don't need Honor March. So this weapon is shit.
It's a good point.
Mm.
I agree.
Fully
Mhm.
skippable, fully skippable. Like it, sure, it has like it's a combo of stats, but like, do you want like a lower potency of three things or like the full potency of one thing?
So
That's a
you're
good
going to go
point.
C tier, right? It
What's
doesn't do any
I'd,
ridiculous?
damage.
I don't. When I first came back to the game, um, my first Aeonic was Fumbleheart for my Corsair because I wanted to be useful. My very second Aeonic
Mhm.
was Marcius with a bard at level 1. I
yeah,
was like,
I
"This
think I
thing is
have a
that
couple level
fucking
one bards with Marcius. Yeah.
Babby's first instrument." Um,
Yeah.
when you look at Honor March, I don't know what Square Enix was thinking when they designed this song.
Mhm.
Like, it is stronger than Minuet 3,
Mhm.
and it gives Madrigal, and it gives Victory March. Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
super
it's
strong.
crazy. It's crazy strong, and like I think that jokes aside, like it Bard is Bard because it has to get everything. You know what I mean? Like you have to end up getting all the Rima, and Aeonic's not one of those that you can skip, and for good reason because Honor March is so potent. Um, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't this if you're a new player and you want to get a weapon and you're picking your job off how useful you're gonna be to a group, then the number one recommendation is gonna be become a bard and get Marcius.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say Marcius is now the most important instrument, whereas before Marcius, Galahorn was the most important instrument,
Mm.
just for potency.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like good bards want the extra song. Like you're not really a bard until you do 4/5 songs,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Easy S tier for me.
Yeah, it's not even
Yeah.
close.
It's
It would be
fundamental.
double S before like any other weapon got into the S category. Like if you were to entertain the Fomalhaut belongs in S, then this belongs in double S. It's a full grade above anything else.
Yeah.
But it does no damage.
And that's a good
It,
point.
Well, it does
it does
though.
plenty of damage because
Mm,
everyone else is now doing more
Yeah.
damage because I have
Yeah.
this weapon.
yeah. Didn't you know that Marcius has hidden effect Savage Blade?
Oh shit,
This
yeah. My bad, my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
this weapon effectively allows you to have two victory march. No, sorry, two Valor Minuet 4s,
Mhm.
while also removing your need to have victory march. Like
Mhm.
very good.
That's a good point. Okay. On to our very last one. We have Srivatsa,
Srivatsa.
the shield. Paladin only. What do you guys think about Srivatsa?
I think Srivatsa aged poorly.
How so?
Honestly, I think it's a C tier, bros.
Mm.
Right off the rip, letter
Mhm.
grade.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I think well, let's discuss Srivatsa's purpose.
Mhm.
Srivatsa, outside of stage 4 or 5 shield, which people shouldn't be using, um,
You literally use it for protect only.
like it's just used for protect.
Yeah.
Like, you can make the argument that you use it for enmity, but it's like, let's be realistic for a second.
Mhm.
Are you really struggling holding here that much that you need a shield to swap to enmity? And you could use it for like kiting, but it's like again, are you really struggling with enmity that you need it? And then you're not gonna swap shields in mid fight. Paladin needs their shield either Duban for the block, and you can make the argument Sarasta has similar block to an extent.
Mhm.
But if any Aegis fight, you swap shields, you're dead. Why would you swap shields? Just don't.
Outside of
So
the bonus, like it's just for enmity, and like you're saying, swapping is stupid. There's no point.
mhm.
Um,
I think that Srivatsa is a good all-around shield for things like tanking Odyssey segments or Dynamis before you get a
Mm.
stage 3 Dubon.
Yeah.
Once you have the stage 3 Dubon, it becomes much less of much less important for those particular things because it's not a bad shield for just taking all around damage. It can kind of keep you going if you're just taking like just a general mix of damage. And then obviously, if you get into like the more specific stuff, you want to be using different shields. But as soon as you get the stage 3 Dubon, it basically turns into, like you said, either an enmity macro piece or a protect macro piece. And then if you stage 4 Dubon, then you don't even need it as a protect macro piece.
Yeah. Once
It was
I
really
get
good
this,
pre-Dubon. I can see that.
Mhm.
Velner says he uses it every day in sortie.
Yeah. I think using it as a kite tool for the extra enmity is
Yeah.
not a bad idea at all. Whether you want to or not is just more of like a personal choice. If you're used to like swapping weapons a lot anyway, because you like did a DD method or something, there's no reason to not have a Burt Gang and Srivatsa
Yeah.
um, weapons mode on your swap. But I think it's a good shield. But I think saying it aged poorly is a pretty good uh, description of where it's at right
yeah, once I get stage 4 Duban,
now. Mhm.
I don't think this shield would ever have a use for me. Like
Yeah,
honestly,
Yeah.
the annuls damage just doesn't come up.
Right.
the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of like tanks should agree with me. Is like I do not have enmity problems when I like actually play the game. There is no enmity problems. So like, why do you need the extra enmity?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
trick is you never actually play the game, so you need all the enmity that you can get,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think that this is another one where it's as a like transitionary weapon, there's a use case for it. Like you've made Aegis,
Mhm.
maybe because relics are accessible and you're not quite to the prime stage, but you want something, basic to help you get there. Like it's not a bad option if you're a paladin only main and you're choosing between sequence and this, then yeah, absolutely. It's a good choice to make. But um I
I
don't
feel
know.
it
Is there
looks
an
good. I'll
argument
give it
for
that.
yeah. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah. I liked the shield a lot before I got the stage 3 Dupont. Now that I have stage 3 Dubon, I don't like it nearly as much as I did. But
Hmm.
I still think it's not a bad piece to pick up. I think the HP and MP on it are kind of slept on. That was
True.
actually something I had to adjust my sets around when I switched to Dubon because I used Servatsa so much. Um, but overall, to me, this is low B slash high C here.
That's kind of why I said it just didn't age well.
Yeah.
Like it had a much stronger purpose, and
Yeah.
now it's kind
Yeah.
of just a silly like side tool. Or if you
Mhm.
feel like you need the enmity, you can swap, but then you put yourself at risk.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, think
I would
about
put
like
it high stake.
the like very, very rare chance where like
Mhm.
the annuls damage 5% happens in a crucial moment.
Yeah.
Like how clutch that would be.
Yeah.
I would say if
Imagine.
you want to like min max the shit out of Paladin, where you would get the most benefit of that
Mhm.
is if you're pulling large amounts of mobs where you're not facing them to shield block, you could swap to this for pulling.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then they're going to be hitting you from the back and you're going to annul the damage sometimes. And that's going to be
Yeah.
a little helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's.
Cal says, I'd rather have a paladin with Servanza than a dragoon with Trishula.
That's
Look,
a hot take.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are really overestimating like the enmity on it. It's
Yeah.
15 enmity. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
come on, man. It's 15 enmity. It's so minimal. Like, if
So what
you're
do we
losing
say?
hate to that shit,
I've never
I'm
lost
I mean,
I'm
hate.
some people need
Well, I said
everything they
high
can
stake.
get.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with C.
Yeah.
Like,
High C.
I see.
I would put it above Trish T
Okay,
at
that's
the
fair.
top of C.
Okay.
just for
Top of
Heg,
C.
I'm gonna put it below Triage.
What if
No,
Okay, thank you.
what if we put it on B tier just to even out the columns a little bit? What do you guys
if
think
it's
about that?
Well, then we'd
listen,
have to
I'm okay with
move
putting it at the bottom of B.
something else to
Yeah.
S.
We
I
can
mean,
We could put
put Tri-Edge down at D and then move
it's
Servatsa
sequence
up
and
to B, and then everything will be even and it'll look really nice. And I like that.
Why are we
is that
arguing
even?
Tri-Edge when Cat Vanga would go down to D
Yeah,
before Tri-Edge?
Ketvanga could go down to
Mm,
D.
now we can spread it out. Like put sequence in A, right? Put Savasta in C, Lionheart in S, and then
Lionheart,
Tri-Edge and
okay.
S as well.
Now this is
Yeah.
starting to make more
Stop,
sense.
stop farming a thumbnail, sir.
So where we put in, we're putting like, yeah, I think B. I think putting it in
Bottom of
B
B.
between Trishula and
Between
Aeneas.
above Trishula?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that strong.
I mean, I think as a as an introductory weapon, which I kind of categorize Aeonics across the board as, like,
Mhm.
you're building your paladin out for the first time, it might be one of your better options. And then there's just so many, I don't know. Trishul is just kind of falls flat.
Yeah, Trishula is not great. I think the difference between the two for me is that Dubon does pretty much everything you want it to do at stage 3. So the Gallimaufry points requirement is so much lower for the shield than it is for like a stage 4 weapon.
True.
To be
That
fair,
is true.
even
Like you
stage
can
2 does
get,
that.
yeah, that's a good point. You can get your Dubon at a much lower level to replace this.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Like the biggest or the biggest complaint that we got for the prime weapon was like, oh, everybody is saying Dubon is S tier because you can fucking put it at 1,000,000 points and you get the stage 3 and it does everything you want. But that's not like how we were grading it. Just looking at the impact of the item itself. Um, but if you are looking through at that one through that lens, then I think it's a fair assessment. It gets
Um,
stronger faster.
we're done with all the weapons,
Mhm.
so I need to I'm doing a complete aside. Like has nothing to do with the Aeonics.
Mhm.
Oh no.
While we were streaming, I've
Mhm.
been doing a Limbus run,
Mhm.
and a famous Assuran joined me.
Oh no.
Name is Sabeth.
Oh jeez. Okay. Yeah.
He is the world's best dancer.
Mhm. I've heard that too.
Um, he
Wow.
did not spectral jig past the fairies,
Okay.
the Unseelies, and I told him, don't fight them. There's no reason to dispel everybody. So
Right.
he goes and fights them and says dark fairies are not a risk.
Good.
We get to the light fairy room, and he goes and aggroes everything, and now has wiped the party.
Nice. I have a total aside while we were doing the podcast.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys were watching chat. Apparently, for like 40 seconds, Asmongold came into the chat.
No
Like
shit.
not talking, but on stream he was lurking the channel. I don't know.
Oh.
I'll have to go back and figure out what and why. But like two people came in and said, "Oh, Asmongold was here." And I'm like, "Cool."
Fantastic.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Asmongold
he's a
is
small scale streamer.
I would say Asmongold is formerly the most popular WoW streamer, and now he just does like variety commentary.
Oh,
Oh, he thought we were playing Final Fantasy 14. I see.
Fair. He's one of the top 5 streamers on the platform.
after Hegma.
Whether you like what he says or not.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
definitely after Hegmore. I think Hegmore's like
Mhm.
right up there at number 5, and he's
Yeah.
like number 6.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
it sounds like he got lost getting here.
Yeah. I want to see the clip. I want to see him be like, "What the fuck am I looking
This is such a niche topic.
at?"
Yeah. Why did I click on this?
Yeah.
They're talking about what game? This
Yeah.
game looks old as fuck.
Wait, this game still runs?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
actually I think when somebody came in, I was popping books in Bastock Market. So I'm sure they came in, they were like, what is this? I was just sitting there spamming a hotkey.
Yeah. Really, really engaging content we have right here.
Yeah.
Hey boys, anything you guys want to close out with? Anything you want to talk about before we
I
finish
think we
episodes?
should embrace racism towards Gal.
Whoa!
They just cut the Galka part off and just that's that's like one okay, I won't say that. Two, that's I think Shiraj is just trying to get the spot at the most hot take to cut into at the
Yeah.
beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
And you guys remember when I on the I think it was the social etiquette episode, and I was like, yeah, this guy is like saying all this racist shit and all this like crazy stuff, and Shiraj is like, can I just say something super racist to piss people off? And I was like,
Yeah.
no, god damn it. That's just Shiraj.
So my fault Galkas exist,
Okay. All right. That's the episode. Thanks, everybody. Have
Oh
a
my
great
god.
day. We will see you. We may not be recording next week. It's still kind of up in the air. So if we don't put out an episode next weekend, please don't message me asking if the podcast has ended, because that happened
Mm,
about 10 times
yeah.
the last time we were able to fit it into the schedule. We
But
will
no
have
matter
more
what, just
episodes.
keep in mind that like I'll be streaming. So if you just
Mhm.
want to like listen to me monologue, it
Yes.
won't be an official thing on YouTube, but you can always come
Mhm.
by.
Yes. Check out Hegmo TV at Twitch. I am streaming now a little bit more consistently under Mythbuster Syndrome. I will be hopefully working on some new guide videos pretty soon. Feel free to send us an email at blurredxi@gmail.com.
We'll rate it.
Shiraj is sometimes streaming, not as much anymore, but check out Shiraj on Twitch.
Hmm.
And join my Discord, not Hegmo's Discord, just join my Discord
Okay,
because that's where the fun happens. Um,
cool.
say hi to Dex in the DGen channel. He'll be very excited.
Hell yeah.
And if you do feel a little pity towards Hegmo, he also has a Discord that you can join. Goodbye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.